A land conquered. That's a powerful phrase. When you hear it, what do you see? A home worn down by the boots of empire? A people torn apart by strife or bowed and bent by oppression? That's what they want you to see. When they conquered our home, the empire thought they had taken everything from us. But what they don't understand is, the more you take, the hungrier people get. And friend, we got hungry. When we had lost everything, we found each other. We found ancient truths and forgotten poems and stories that told us who we used to be. Together, we drove out the conquerors. Now, our home, our haven, is a land reclaimed.
Hello.
Hey everyone, welcome, happy Wednesday, welcome to All Nerds Here, a channel for cool people and also dogs and cats. If you have lizards and snakes, they can hang out and watch with us. I'm sure we will happily support them. I don't think the channel documentation specifically says it's for them though, so I'm just trying to stick to the script that, we have. How are all of you doing this fine evening? I hope everyone is having a great time. I hope you got your snacks. I hope you got to see what Travis Scott orders from McDonald's, or you got to see how they're adding new stuff to the Marvel Heroes game, which seemed way out of place for me. Yeah.
What? No, it's.
I'm just,
let it
I'm
ride.
just
let
talking
it
about
sit.
just talking about Twitch ads, Just
You don't
talking
have
about Twitch
appreciation
ads.
for the fact that Travis Scott dips his fries in the barbecue sauce?
Like
The whole-
fries in the barbecue sauce.
A genius. Very good.
Yeah, it's real good. So okay. With all of that said, it is Wednesday. That means it's time for Haven, a Land Reclaimed, a post-colonial RPG. It is our own take on Legacy Free from the Yoke by Minerva McJanda and Fyodor Kasatkin. We are also part of All Nerds Here. You can check us out on our Discord. You can, if you want to get some cool merch, you can check out So Nerdwear. It's what the nerds wear. If you use the code WRASSLE, that's WRASSLE, you'll get 10% off of all of your purchases. And you can follow pretty much all of us on Twitter to stay up to date with what is happening. And we're going to tell you more specifically about us and all of that right now. I'm JR. You might remember me from the internet. I'm currently running a poll on Twitter, not a poll, a contest. If we can get a tweet that people are linking in the chat to 50 retweets, I will be forced to make up and sing a theme song for the Crab Mech that you all helped create last week. Until then, I'm off the hook. I get to have a great time and just relax and run this game. I'm the Arbiter. I'm using the Guardians of History playbook. And next to me, both in my heart and on your screen, is Simon.
Hello.
Oh.
Great place to be. Great to be here. Thanks for having me on. It's a really, really big honor. I think we're going to have a great show tonight. Live from New York. I'm Simon. My pronouns are he, him. And I am playing the Newfound Family playbook. We are also known as the Woven, and the avatar that I have for this age is the Factor, or the sort of the spy master and acquisitions expert Shochi, whose pronouns are she/her.
Awesome. Next to Simon on the screen, but also next to my heart, is Alex.
Hello. I keep forgetting if I'm looking the right way. Simon's that way? Yeah, I'm doing it. Okay. It's hard to tell with the zoom. I'm Alex. My pronouns are he, him. I am playing the Forgers of Unbroken Bonds, a group of artisans and craftspeople who are just nice and great so far. We'll see what happens with them. And my representative is Chimali, who uses she/her pronouns. She is the ambassador playbook.
Awesome. And then we have got underneath, sort of underneath me on the screen, but above me in status, our producer, Rue.
Yeah, I concur with that statement.
I can see him.
I'm Rue. My pronouns are she, her, and I play from the playbook The Teachers of Ancient Truths. We are known as the Ashes of Prithvi, and my character is Phoebe, whose pronouns are she, her, and she is one of the council leaders of the Ashes.
Ooh. Then next to Rue, currently chomping on some food, so I'm just going to vamp for a tiny bit, is Vinitya.
Hi. I like how I was being scolded. Everybody else got praise, but it's like.
Oh no, I was just
Vinitya,
I was
the
just being
bad
courteous
child.
to you.
Hi, yeah, I'm Vinitya. I use he/him pronouns, and I will be playing the Sages of Cinder, which is the playbook, the Church of the Forgotten Lands, and my character, like my big kind of faction character, is Mithra. Mithra uses he/she pronouns.
And last but not least, we have Kevin.
Hey, I'm Kevin. I'm playing the Charlie Brown faction of this group.
Yeah,
The Riverkin.
What does that mean?
You know, Charlie Brown famously dropped firebombs on a jungle, which is a great parallel for what happened last time. Just to recap, last time y'all got into a pitched battle with the Ghosts of the Serpent, a faction of Hua-backed river folk who had seized the ancient temple deep in the jungle near the elemental gate that y'all are working to repair. During the fight, the morals and ethics of the river folk were compromised, which allowed you to both get access to the temple, but it meant that you damaged by firebombing another house's sacred space, and were brought to task by that. The Sages of Cinder publicly denounced you for your sins and then absolved you, leading the Arbiter to kind of extract a less harsh penalty than there otherwise might have been. Meanwhile, Shochi's spy network investigated the mysterious Changers of Coin, a faction of wealthy merchants who are using their wealth to gain power, and who are currently being very nice to the Sages of Cinder. And I believe that's about where we left off. I think, we as we look at Haven, and let's go ahead and look at Haven by cutting over to the map. As we look at Haven, I think we leave behind the warm summer and watch as the leaves change as fall settles in on the land. In the south, it gets cooler as an icy gust of air is buffeted and buffered by the mountains at the border. But even so, there is a chill settling on the land that seems to bite more deeply than it has in seasons past. The jungle itself is alive with color and evergreen. But even at the Woven camp, as fall encroaches, even around the temple, things feel like they're on the precipice of something. Deep in Tidehold, the Riverken's scribes transcribe what has happened and update their ledger of wrongs done. While near the Temporal Temple, a faction of sages start a new town. There is growth and change in the air as the seasons change. So let's go ahead and start by changing the seasons. And that is a very yes. So we are changing the seasons, and that is a very specific move that you do repeatedly, or expected to do repeatedly throughout Legacy Free from the Yoke. If you change the seasons, you are first instructed to see how things were. Everyone's had like a zoom in moment, so we don't have to check for that. The turmoil doesn't yet exceed control, so we don't have to worry about any disasters or any moves from the old empire or anything like that. In fact, all we have to do is trigger holding court. In Haven, every season is marked by a feast. I believe we had discussed. So all around Haven, the families gather, the houses gather, the communities bring out their flowers and feathers, and songs fill the air as the smell of all sorts of cooking, both familiar and exotic, spreads throughout the land. This is a moment of peace. At the beginning of each season, the Arbiter calls on each house of note to serve them. So everyone go ahead and roll plus favor for me.
Ooh.
Very
As
excited about rolling this at a +3 this time.
Right?
Oh, wait, what was my favor again?
Damn, I should have been.
Do I still roll my
Almost
favor?
like my constant currying favor paid off.
Did indeed forget to do that.
Ah. Well, while you all roll favor, how are the houses feeling? And who's ready to talk about their rolls real quick?
I
I
got
will
Uh-oh.
12.
Ooh, all right. So it looks like both the Riverfolk and the Forgers are
Oh.
sitting high in favor with the Arbiters right now. Let's see, with a 12 plus, let me pull open the tab of the book. On a 10 plus, the Arbiter, on a 10 plus, you are given trusted access to a part of their regime. The GM gives you control over one or more surpluses invested in the project, and several of the Arbiter wants done with them this season. If you achieve it, gain 1 favor and add 1 progress. If you fail at it, lose 1 favor, the surpluses, and 1 progress. So I think for the Forgers, the Arbiter is going to put you in control of a shipment of artisans. They have some specially trained folks that they have spent the last season preparing and training. They're folks drawn from all the different houses, and they're going to be sent to one of the islands out in the distant archipelago off of the coast, off of the eastern coast of Haven. They want you to make sure that they get there safely and are able to begin work immediately, because the Arbiters are growing impatient with delays on the project.
Nice.
As for, I see that the Riverkin are still high on the hog, as they say. I think they want you to keep track of the jade that you have. I don't think you need to erase it. They want you to deliver it wherever you see fit to one of the gates. Work has successfully been completed on the map on the northwestern gate near the Great Fire Pit. So they kind of give you free reign to deliver that where you see fit. But they want you to make sure that no one else has access to it. They don't want anyone else to even be near it, but Riverfolk.
Fuck everybody. Sounds good.
Yeah. pretty much. Who's next?
Well, I got a 6.
All right. You got a 6.
Yeah.
So on a 6,
Oh, we all
you,
Mm-hmm.
the arbiter is displeased with you, and will basically, they don't ask anything of you, but other folks notice your disfavor. You lose influence on all the other factions, and the GM, that's me, says what faction is taking your place in court. I think that's what introduced us to the Changers of Coin last time.
It is.
And I think, I think this time they're kind of turning to the forgers to take your place at court. They're kind of looking on them to fulfill more of the labor that you would be doing. Obviously, you'll still be left to handle the dead and all of that stuff, but they're kind of giving some of their trade and some of the contracts they would otherwise have you handle to the forgers.
Yeah, it makes sense because they've really been putting in the work to get
They
everything
really
done.
have been. And who else?
I got a 5.
Ooh, you all.
Oh, rough.
Everyone's got 5s. It looks like. Okay,
Yes.
so
I do too.
everyone lose your influence, and the
Why would I do that? Shit.
replacing the ashes and I think that makes sense. I think the arbiters are kind of deliberately snubbing the ashes after their vision last time. I think
Lame.
that they haven't invited you to any of the functions. Yeah, like I think it's not just that they notice your isolation. I think it's that they notice your absence. And taking your place are the Keepers of the Tome. These are a faction that hold a tome of laws set out by the Arbiter that they kind of describe as the ones who are entrusted with seeing the proper way to use the land. They are the ones in charge of rituals, and the arbiters decree that they'll be dispensing the wisdom and power of the land. Which draws a lot of grumbling from folks, because the land has been freely giving its power to everyone, and so to kind of see one faction kind of not just get the ashes job, but everyone's job really seems to be setting them to muttering. And then finally, replacing the Sages of Cinder. Replacing the Sages of Cinder. We have a faction that has kind of been on their own in the deep jungle. They've been kind of scouts and tasked with like mapping it, but there was an expeditionary force, and these are the Raptors. They are a house based on the Horse Lords that instead use dinosaurs. So we'll kind of meet them also, and I'll add all of those to the map as we go. So that is the turning of the seasons. I think several months have passed, and I think the first day of fall is an auspicious one, marked by a dark ring hovering over the Skyfire Peak. It is a thick cloud of smoke and ash, and its presence seems to mean that there will be a fertile crop this year once it settles and disperses over the lush lands all around it.
Nice.
Yeah. As we enter fall, what are folks, the houses thinking? What are we what are we looking at doing? I think Tizpal is very upset with how things are going for the Woven.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I
Real
think
quick.
also. Oh yeah, go ahead.
We said that at turn of the seasons,
Hmm.
your needs and supply, those if you have matching ones on each, those cancel out at the turn of the season, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Ah.
Oh,
So if you had like needs recruit and surplus recruits, they just kind of cancel each other out.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
I don't have that.
Sorry, my
Yeah,
actual
I see.
question that just occurred to me real quick, but like actual question is, where did we land on our houses knowing each other's like surpluses and needs? Like, do we just know, or do we read the wind?
I think we had said that they were going to be open to folks.
I know that was up in the air. I wasn't sure if we did that. Okay.
Oh, and I had a project where the forgers had started building some aqueducts for the Riverkin that would be finished at the
Mhm.
next season. So I guess
Yeah,
they're done now.
everyone's work is finished. The
Yay.
aqueducts are finished. The surplus of coin gets delivered to the river folk.
Yep. And we gain a new
You
surplus. of
gain a new
coin.
surplus, right? That's very
Great.
cool.
Yeah.
Grave digging is serious and lucrative business.
It is.
It is.
I think as the houses are kind of gathering their wits and figuring out what happens, I think everyone kind of sees it. I think it's an event that's visible from throughout Haven as Skyfire Peak erupts.
Ooh.
This is the first time that it has erupted in a long while, and it is cataclysmic almost.
Jeez. Okay.
The dark plume of smoke can be seen from every part of Haven, and a thick wave of ash kind of throughout the day spreads up all around the mountain and then beyond, drifting, wafting through the jungle, drifting along against Tide Hold, and settling even in the expensive Imperial Temple. It hasn't reached as far as the mountains. The winds kind of coming in from over there are keeping the ash at bay. But it is a gray day throughout Haven.
Whoa.
Yes.
Mm.
I think that news of what has happened to the people there has not reached anyone yet. Everyone just kind of has seen that it has erupted. A dark cloud hangs over the land.
What is how are the people of Skyfire P?
Yeah.
Oh.
And how are you gonna find out? And what are you doing?
Well, it is. I guess it's the forger's place, but if there is like a natural catastrophe happening,
Yeah.
the Sage's Temple that's there is probably working in like overtime to try and like shield and help people.
Yeah.
Right.
So that sounds like either a maybe read the wind or the right tool for the job kind of a move. If you got a good tool.
I don't know if I have a good tool actually. Because I have not really. My surpluses are missionaries and wealth.
I guess I could do a read the wind because one of
All
those
right.
things is what's going on, what's happening in Skyfire Peak.
I feel like you doing that first is probably the most prudent thing for us all to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Rolling plus reach.
Roll plus reach.
Oh my goodness! I got another 12.
All right.
Oh,
God.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. When you roll a 10 plus, ask one question, and you get to mark the map with a sign of your answer. So you want to know what's
Alright.
happening in Skyfire Peak?
Yes.
It's easy to mark the map. The revelers were last seen gathered around the caldera of the peak, and the massive celebrations that had been happening in the town kind of came to a close at the end of the spring, and the day before everything erupted, the moving throughout the now expanded town that has blossomed up at the base of it, and was seen planting different like wooden icons. There is a half charred, recovered fragment of wood that's kind of an odd round shape that one of your agents kind of delivers to you. But it looks like the lava has overwhelmed everything there.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Shit.
that's intense.
And they tell you that the peak is still erupting. That it's not as violent, but it looks like it's still rumbling, and that lava is still kind of overflowing from it.
Right, and not in the good way.
Not in the good.
So I get to mark the map with a sign of my answer. Interesting. I'm not entirely clear what that means. Like, this should probably be something good for me, right? Since it's a thing that I get on a 10+.
It can also be like clarity, right? So like you get to define what the clarity of the situation is.
Yeah. So, I guess I'm gonna say that maybe there is so there's another nearby mountain, if we can pull our map up, that's
Yeah.
like up here. And I think maybe that one is like a less populous and less traveled mountain that is like sort of like a spiritual sister of Skyfire Peak. Like they have a similar energy, but it's not particularly like honored or traveled. So I think that the Tempered Monarch has said we need to go and check what's up with that mountain, and like probably there's an imbalance over there that we're gonna need to correct to like bring these two back into harmony.
All right, so go ahead and mark the map with a sign of your answer.
Cool.
Yeah.
How do I do text?
There is an option for text box.
There we go. Oh no, I have to think of a name for this other mountain. Anybody got a mountain name that's cool?
You could just write for now, like Forger Mountain, or Skyfire Sister.
Cool. That sounds good.
And we can always kind of come up with that cool name later.
Sounds good.
How about the rest of y'all?
Well, I think because we are continually pushed down in court, right? I'm sure that pisses off Tizpal, for
Yes.
sure. But Chochi is still the ambassador to the liaison to the Forgers. And I think Chochi is like, look, this relationship has to maintain because these people are one of the best shots we have at getting our reputation back. So I think she's going to tap our surplus of recruits to send them to Skyfire Peak and help like a rescue and rebuild operation.
Yeah.
Aw, that's so nice.
Where are your recruits right now?
So they're gathered at Covenant.
All right.
So she has to travel, or she sends word perhaps to, because she's, I think in the fiction she was traveling with
Yeah,
Chimali to the Changer's house.
Yes.
But I think she sees that like on the road, and is like, well, that's bad. And
This is a new
here's kind
priority.
of through messengers, right? Like through Archaeopteryx messengers, like this is
Nice.
messed up. We got to go send some help, and demands it. Marshals some resources, probably against great consternation from Tizpal.
Oh yeah, definitely. He thinks that this is your chance to kind of distinguish the house elsewhere, but you're devoting resources there. So
Yeah. Now I think that changes my role.
yes, I think so as well, because you've put the interests of another house ahead of your own.
Yes.
Cool.
Ooh.
And I justify my decision, which is that we have been trying to declare our independence, but we don't have the resources to do that yet.
That's correct.
We can't leave our friends behind. The Woven have been, we are inherently diasporic. We know what it means to come from many different nations, and that change is not created by one hand. It takes hundreds linked together to enact change. And so that she's like, we're fighting together, or we're just going to die, kind of with our digging our heels in and being stubborn about like rah our one national identity. That's her angle, I think.
All right. So
Nice.
go ahead and I believe that mark yourself as outsider now.
Yes.
You've justified your decision. The GM will tell you what your independence costs. So first things first, though, before I do that, go ahead and either add 1 to a stat or gain a new move from the
Yeah.
factor book. And you are halfway to retirement. So if you do one more roll, you're one day from retirement, so to speak.
Damn.
And let's go ahead and say that I think your independence costs you the official support of Tispal.
Yep.
I think as an outsider, you're kind of putting your own resources to the test. It isn't that you have command of the Woven spy network; it's you have command of your own little sparrows, right?
Exactly.
You have your spy, and doing anything beyond, like doing anything at all with them, is going to be riskier than normal because they have to operate not only under normal secrecy, but also under secrecy from Tispal, who is definitely like watching your move like a hawk right now.
Right.
Oh, that was so nice.
And I believe that also, so that also is logistics, I think. And correct me if I'm, well, I guess I don't know that. I don't think that's your alliance move yet, is it?
I don't think so.
No, because that's if you show people how their way of life is harming the
It's
land
harming
owners.
someone else, right?
Yeah.
And it has to be another house specifically. So I'm waiting for the rest of you to do terrible things because that's
Right.
the only way I can influence over you.
Waiting?
But at the very least, I think logistics probably makes sense because we're sending recruits there to
Yeah.
then use the right tool for the job.
So go ahead and trigger logistics, which is just you just pick one for each point of mood below 0.
Now our mood is 0.
Oh, perfect. So you don't have to pick one.
We have 4 surpluses and 4 needs right now.
Great. Then you deliver your surplus of recruits to Skyfire Peak, and if you'd like, can trigger the right tool for the job.
I think that's what we do. We use the recruits that Shochi was able to muster, and we set to work doing what we're best at doing, which is helping people rebuild after they've lost everything.
Yeah.
I think
So
that's like part of the stories that they tell is like with the forger citizenry is like let us tell you our story, you know, and also like while we address the crisis.
Oh.
yeah. So what are you looking to do?
Mostly be nice.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But if we're now kind of like split off, or at least Shochi's faction is splitting off from the rest of the Newfound family, then maybe we need to find a place to like form a base of operations.
Let's go ahead and say it's kind of near that other sister mountain, right? I think that's a good spot for it.
Yeah, I think then like from there, we would then try to claim a section of that mountain by like sending once the recruits have dealt with most of the effort within that area. Like, okay, now we're gonna move out and we're gonna claim some territory that we can use for this like sub faction who has like much more radicalized political ideas than the rest of our faction does.
Yeah, totally. I think that makes sense. How about the forgers? Because you read the wind and found out what was happening there and kind of marked the map. But is there anything else y'all are doing in response to this, and also in support of your efforts to go and talk to the changers of coin?
Right. Can I just give the woven influence over me like we were playing masks? Like, it makes sense that I should give you influence so you
Yeah, that narratively
think
that makes enough sense to me. So I think you can. Yes.
cool.
All right.
We asked that last session, I think, as well. Like, we can give and take, or we can give influence. Kind
Nice.
of as a
Yeah.
choice.
So you definitely get influence for helping them in their time of need.
Makes
And,
sense to me.
Yeah,
we're
it makes
talking
sense to
about
me too. Let's do that.
Since I finished those aqueducts for the Riverkin, I get influence over them, and I was wondering if Kevin wanted to give any details for like how beautiful and ornamented these aqueducts are, and the cool serpents that are carved on the side of them, or whatever you want them to look like.
I think what it is like we asked you to make some irrigation, and and you went and made aqueducts.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you can just like dig some trenches, like that's cool. And then you built like these big like arching stones, like these big like what's like fake? I know there's like a fake jade stone. It's green and they sell it as jade. but it's not
Malachite?
actually.
Malachite.
Yeah, it might be
or
malachite. Like,
jadeite.
Or jade.
yeah, it's one of those. It's not actual jade, but like you make these aqueducts out of that shit.
That's amazing.
And then you've got these like running serpents in along the sides, and like there's these beautiful like decorative like waterfalls coming out every once in a while instead of like actual just like proper
Spout.
Nice.
Yeah. And then like I think we just get a scene of like as that's completed, as like all the forgers people are like going back home to address the actual pressing situation. When it's just looking at this aqueduct, like, I mean, I guess it works.
Technically brings water over here. Okay.
Yeah.
The most
It does
grudging
work. It
influence.
is gorgeous, and I think at some point, Alex, go ahead and add that to the map as well, because you were building that. So you finished work on that. Like that was last season's stuff.
Right.
And you get your influence now. What are you doing? What are the forgers doing?
What are we doing? I think we're gonna. Is there really a move for?
Well, tell me what you want to do. Like talk me
Yeah,
through
yeah.
what you're thinking.
I'm just trying. There's not a lot of like addressing yourself type moves, or like we're going to repair our own busted up stuff.
Yeah.
So I
mean, that can also be like a thing you do on the character
Hold
level.
together.
Even if it's
right.
yeah, and hold together is also a great move for that. Yeah, because you're confronting a crisis and it's a chance to mitigate the problem.
Mm-hmm. And like,
Right.
your house could do it poorly.
The results of that roll are bad.
They are all bad. Yes. I mean, it's like what happened is bad. Like a volcano
True.
eruption is bad. It's hard to spin that into gold no matter what.
Yep, that's very true.
Um,
Okay, cool. I think that makes sense then. Yeah, they need to resist hardship. So
Yeah.
roll with a +1. Although I guess we kind of already did another house or faction came through to help you out, give the influence over you.
Yeah. So it makes sense narratively if depending on how you do. But roll your plus mood.
Cool. I got a 7, 8.
So you could also pick the danger hasn't passed so much as shifted into a different problem, or maybe there's multiple houses or factions that come through to help you out and they gain influence on you.
I think it actually makes sense. I feel like the Vidija faction, the Sages.
Yes, the Sages of Cinder.
Sages, I was like,
My
"Fuck
faction, the
Cinder."
faction of me.
Aditya.
The faction
Just
of
a
Vindicia.
bunch of ideas.
The Sages being there and helping would also make a big difference, because I think like a lot of the reasons the forgers can't just fix stuff themselves is that a number of their like important guild houses full of supplies and like master artisans were like lost or hurt or trapped under rubble or burned alive.
Yeah, totally.
So I think
All
that
right.
having the sages there to like, oh, this person thought they were never going to work again because they were really badly burned, and you were able to heal them, so then they are able to actually contribute again was a really huge deal.
Speaking of the sages, what are they doing?
I think the sages, since like, there's kind of two things. I want to talk about this a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because the sages' job is, or their like job within the community is definitely healers, right? Like,
Yeah.
these temples, the temples are everywhere, and they do not deny people to come, right? They're like, we'll fix you. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So they're probably also doing exactly kind of what Alex was saying, is just like scrambling to be like, or at least the ones that are there.
Right.
But also, they just lost favor with the arbiters.
Mm-hmm.
They got supplanted from the court, and they are not happy about that. Because in my head, I'm like, the sages, like the upper echelons of the sages, are like, we need to get on the good side of the arbiters. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
they help us out, so that fucking sucks. So I guess I'm kind of torn about like what direction I don't want to take my move.
Well, so you can always like pursue one of those directions as Mithra and kind of have the house generally go in the other, or just like I think
Yeah.
pick either of
Okay.
those. They both make sense.
Okay, cool. Because I think the other thing that I wanted is like, it's weird because my character, because like Mithra is like an outsider. They're literally a
Right.
rogue of like their archetype is the rogue,
Right.
of their faction, and she's like, I'm going there, like not for a few reasons, like because the forest is now like a not safe place for him, because there's a bunch
Right.
of people there, and like there's a bunch of eyes on it, and she had an attempted assassination on her, and it's like, I can't be here anymore. So I
Yeah.
think she's going up anyway. So that's probably her house move, is getting up there and providing aid, because again, she counts as aid.
Counts as so that feels like the right tool for the job. Now you can't erase yourself, but I think that's kind of where your healer surplus thing will be kind of dedicated to for the season.
That's fair.
What does your clinic like? What does it look like setting up there? We don't need to like go into a whole lot of depth, but just like give me a shot of that,
I think like, so because we have like the sanctuary move, I think like there is something like spiritual about it, and I don't know the last time I mentioned this on stream, but like the sages do not pull their ritualistic, they don't pull their magic from the land, they pull it
Right.
from the, they pull it from fire and bones and shadows and sacrifice. So I think like what happens is like their main temple is probably destroyed, or at least not in a good place, as this lava is
Well, I was
destroying everything.
Could it be that like the lava comes down and then it just like parts around their temple?
that's
Whoa.
That is
no, I
pretty
do
cool.
like that. No, I actually do, because I was also thinking like maybe I could learn a ritual that helps with that, but I do like that it's just like or I don't know if that would be a ritual or not, but I do like that there is like,
I'll say specifically that the temple has not been consumed by lava, but it is isolated by it.
sure,
So like there's a big flow of active hot lava between most of the rest of Haven and it, like a
Okay, yeah.
small lake.
then I think like that's that's probably like, I don't know if Mithra was able to get there in time. But no, that's a more interesting story. Mithra had like a bunch of forgers, and just anybody who's in the city, just a bunch of us are in there. Like,
Yeah.
helping
So
out.
you does Mithra set up a temple over there?
I think so. Yeah. It's,
Okay. And what does that look like?
It's Oh, I like, so I guess I'll throw up a content warning. I think blood will be
Yeah.
a part of this ritual, but it's like inside. It's like flames, small
Mhm.
flames set up around, and like I think like 5 points. Like 5 points. There, 5 is probably a very auspicious number for them. You have like 5 major like homums, or is the actual term, like the holy fire,
Mhm.
are set up, and then like blood stars, like
Oh, very cool.
like rungoli,
Mm.
but like kind of
Mm.
blood are around it, and those are also 5 pointed, and then those like connect. So there's like a lot of like these things that are, and then like you have probably bones placed around like between them. So it's like all
Right.
these little things that are like, they kind of look, they're usually built into the architecture kind of thing. So they're like little enclaves that like that the homums live in, and they look beautiful. But then like if you need to quickly make one, you technically can. Like it's like, okay, I have to make a sanctuary. You can-
So there's like these like this ramshackle maybe little network of temples that you're setting up, kind of near where the sages are sheltering.
Yeah, and it's
I like
like,
that.
okay, we got it. Like maybe like the lava was able to, or like a rock like blew out a corner that had a homum in it, so now it's like
Mhm.
like a candle instead of what used to be like a
Mm.
beautiful like bonfire. And you're like, fuck, we gotta just quickly set up. We gotta remake the circle. You know what I mean? Like, oh crap.
Yeah. How about how are the ashes of Prithvi doing?
Yeah, the ashes. I think they're also wanting to help out with this. We have like a decent number
Mhm.
of surpluses, so we might as well
Mhm.
use them. And I think generally the group of them are looking to get a little more involved with the other factions, especially with like losing influence again. Like the slight influence that we had over like a few people here and there is lost again, and the arbiters. I think the vision has been talked about amongst a decent number of them, so there's just like
Mhm.
a general like we need to be more visible with the other groups in some way, even if we don't necessarily align with what they're doing. We need to at least establish some relationships, even if it's just for selfish
So
purposes.
what are you doing to help out?
So I was thinking either we would either be using our surplus of land or our surplus of attunement for.
Mhm.
I'll see if it works for right tool for the job, but
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally.
I was either thinking they like. Because attunement, it says it's the spirits of the land lend your house assistant that you visit
Mhm.
in dreams to advise. So I was either thinking that they somehow do rituals as like a house to suppress like the amount of damage that was going on, or just like try to do something to
Yeah,
answer
so
the harm to the
I
land.
think attunement is the right call here, and I'm gonna
Okay.
go ahead and mark our map real quick.
Yeah. Swap
So
it over.
you basically contain, like, with that. I think you contain the flow of lava, and for now at least, it's kind of in like this area, and I'll figure out. Let me send that to the back. So that
Sweet.
is a ring of lava.
Yo.
Nice.
And it's sort of where the flow has been contained. It might have. I think that also keeps the jungle from getting caught. Like
Yes.
the part that's in the circle is utterly devastated, and no word on where that gate is. I don't think anyone's been able to get eyes on it.
Whoa.
Fair. Yeah, I don't think we were really thinking about that. I think our focus was on protecting
Yeah.
the land more than anything with the arbiters.
Oh shit! Wait, I forgot that there's a gate there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
I think like Mithra is also probably very interested in these gates, because she's like, "Hey, why the fuck are you trying to get people out of here?" kind of deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think. What about the river folk?
Well, let's see.
Yeah, I'm also
Trigger
gonna
grumpy.
give.
So grumpy.
No, this isn't like a personal thing, but Win has a personal stake in what's in that temple. I think they are going to they're going to try and claim it by force
Which temple?
in the sacred forest.
Ah, okay, awesome.
I think the house doesn't necessarily want to do that because they have
Yes.
seen how Win conducts battle now.
I think
It is
so.
not in their best interest. I think Win is swearing a vow.
Ooh. What
Which-
vow are you swearing?
They're swearing to dig out all of the corruption within this forest.
What?
Whoa.
I like that. Go ahead and I think that changes your role this season.
It
Um,
does. It does make Win a champion.
Yes, it does make Win a champion. So what I guess yeah, let's hear what does their vow sound like? Like what are the words they say? Like
I think what it is like they now that they know that the house will not support them,
mhm.
they go onto the ship. They're onto the water deer. And they walk up to this huge bronze drum that is like sacred to their people and that they use to dictate the rhythm of both battle and for rowing and things, and then to call assistance. They will break these drums in order to call aid for other ships, and they start like holding it by one of the rings and dragging it to the edge of the ship, and they throw it in the water.
Ooh.
Oh.
They will like forego any like calling for assistance, any of that, because the house does not support them in their vow, and they will find the corruption that's rooted in the
You know what?
in the fourth in the temple.
While that you are swearing an oath to confront a particular foe, this also sounds like you're kind of ignoring your house's interests to pursue vengeance.
Yeah, I was like between. It could be
Mhm.
either one.
Mhm.
Double level up.
I'm fine with either.
Yeah,
What do you think is more appropriate?
I think it's more appropriate because you're specifically ignoring like your house's interests.
Yeah,
And
because this
like
is like more like what the house dictates you are, rather
like
than what
throwing
the
your drum overboard, right? That's a sign to me that it feels more rogue, you
Okay.
know. So say why it's crucial that your foe is stopped before it is too late.
because
Oh yeah.
the words Wien will say is because like they cannot allow that these these traitors to the house to continue to disparage the name of the house and all of the rest of the fleet, and then they cannot allow Hua to regain a foothold on this land. Like they're going after that cousin. They're
I'll
going after
tell
that
you-
cousin. They're going in the dream.
And I'll tell you where you might find allies in your quest among the dishonored dead.
Not among Mitra or Veeb, who left.
They left. No, you'll find them among the dishonored dead.
Well, actually, I have a question real quick, or I want to do this. So my plan before we change seasons, but you know we're changing seasons, it's fine. Was I wanted Mithra to like heal you. I'm a fresh heal. You got beat the fuck up, right?
Oh yeah, we changed seasons, so
Yeah.
That's fine. So I'm assuming, but I want to know, did that happen?
yes, that definitely happened.
Okay.
I think there was like I think in the anime of this, when we released the OVA, right? There's like the Hot Springs episode that we'll never get to see. That is
Oh my
Mithra and Veeb
Beautiful.
and Win, like go into the healing springs. That's deep in the jungle.
Yeah.
They had a wacky adventure. They met a talking chicken, and you know we don't really talk about what happened with the Brontosaurus because that was kind of scary. That's like the one moment in that episode that felt like a threat.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Wait.
The day the day have arrived. Okay. Oh, I need to collect myself. I had something serious to ask.
Making me think about Digimon. Sorry.
Let's hear that Digimon rap.
They are the champions.
They are of the digital world.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Oh, wait. So this is what I want to ask, right?
yeah.
One, because this is to win. Because win's like
No, this is
soft,
the
like.
lose.
So what's the question?
Okay, so
Oh my god.
I want. So it's like I'm gonna fucking go in there, whether it's the last thing I do, right? Like that's kind of
Yeah.
their whole vibe right now, right?
Yeah.
I feel like while healing you, Mithra like is like almost pleading with you not to do anything rash. Is like you need to heal this forest. The sages could have been way worse, but like whatever pulls I was able to pull, I tried to make sure that they didn't completely destroy your reputation with the arbiters. Win, please.
No.
Promise me.
What would be rash is me going up to your fucking mountains and dragging Huron out by the hair and throw him off a cliff. Like I want to.
And I think that conversation is like at the end of that's at the end of the Hot Springs episode where y'all are kind of having like a cup of like warm. I think it's a gourd of warm mate.
All right, wait, hold on.
Hell
I want to see if I can get Win to make me a promise.
Ooh.
So at some point later,
Yes.
I can demand someone honor promises they made. So I think like as I'm healing you, I'm like, don't fucking do anything dumb. Promise me you'll think this through. I think it's almost like just that simple. Promise me you'll think this through.
Does Win promise?
I don't want.
I think maybe this. I feel like Win is also like the type of person where Mithra could make really morbid like threats, and it's like I'll make sure this arm can never move. As like I
Oh my
have
God.
my hand like in there, you know what I mean?
Ugh. I think like there's a whole like back and forth. There's a long like
Oh, yeah.
discussion, but like in the end, Win will promise.
Okay,
They will,
cool.
All right.
they will think it through.
Cool.
Sweet. So we'll keep
That's
that in
it.
mind
Yeah,
for later.
I just wanted to
so
make sure.
we know what Win is doing. What is the what are the houses? What's the house doing?
If so, really, that's like a player thing. Like I can no longer use like claim by force to take the temple. So that's technically a house move.
Yeah,
Well, the house
I
could
feel
do
like
that.
your house
Or-
could do it, right? Like
Okay.
if you want to have like Win claim it by force and then be like, no, we're claiming this and I'm going after them specifically. I think that's totally fine.
Right.
So make your claim by force roll, and I think if you're not asking for backup from like everyone, maybe it's claim by force with disadvantage.
Okay. Wait, did we say where I can find allies or where I can
Yes.
find allies?
Yes, you can find them among the dishonored dead.
Right. Right. Actually, you know what? I will
Fuck.
look into that.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of bodies around here.
Can
Because someone firebombed the jungle. There are soldiers from the Hua and from y'all's side here. You chose the jungle
Yeah.
instead of your own forces, so it's mostly Hua.
Yeah. So
You gonna Aragorn this shit? You gonna Aragorn this shit?
I do have a surplus of attunement.
That sounds like the right tool for the job, really.
Yeah. I would like to use the right tool for the job.
Erase that attunement.
When your house uses the resource to confront a crisis, erase an appropriate surplus to mitigate or resolve the problem.
All right. So I think that just lets you claim the temple by force. You have it. You are in control of that temple. You break the law. We'll deal with that at the end of the season.
Hang on, wait, what?
You've the Forgotten Temple. That's the sacred space of the
Ashes?
No,
ashes.
That's some double jeopardy bullshit.
It is.
Already firebombed it.
When he did that, I was like, okay.
We're cleaning it for you.
Wait, but you never
So
said that.
we'll see. I guess let's see how that situation resolves itself. But that is on the
Okay.
table, depending on how things go. That might be one of the results.
'Cause I don't think Wynn's like intention is to like claim this and like keep the temple.
Right.
It's like to just root
That
out.
doesn't change how people perceive it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like
Totally fair.
you're basically sort of taking a minor extrajudicial action right now. So
when it comes out, like after claiming it, it's all like, but I did it.
All
It's
right.
like everyone fears out for you.
we'll
Babe
see
has
what
like an
happens
entire
in the
army.
fallout of it. But like I won't dig you with that right away. Just like know you're in another house's sacred space, but I have claimed it by force.
Hang on, but I never left that sacred space. So I
True.
can't re-enter.
Oh my god.
There. But I don't know
He's
If I had gone and
squatting.
done the right thing and gone and helped the forgers and come
How much of
back,
the Phoenix Wright tension music can I play before we get copyright struck?
Hold it.
we'll
was like,
leave
Where does
the
it say? Where
semantics
does it
for confronting the arbiters later. I love this move. I support it all the way. Like I'm a fan of this. I think that's great.
the
All
sages
right.
fucking condemn me again. I swear.
Oh,
that's
I've got plans. There are plans for that condemnation. What? So, does anyone else want to do anything before we move on to the next like house, the round of house stuff? Does anyone have anything they want to zoom in to do real quick? Or not real quick. But
it could be nice. I want some of our main characters to meet a little bit, and I know
Theoretically, have a scene with
like
all
is
of us.
Chimali and Shochi are in Skyfire Peak, right? Like that's kind of
Oh,
where we are all
yeah.
together.
Mhm.
I think Mithra wants to talk to them.
what? I guess what do you want to do? Like when we zoom in, it should be to try and like accomplish something in the world. Like,
Okay, yeah. Well,
So like you guys can all meet and interact, but it should be like if we're zooming in, it should be to like do something. So it could be like to go on an expedition into Skyfire Peak, right? Or like if you wanted to, we've been talking about going to the Changers of like that's where Chimali and Shochi were headed is to Changers HQ, and I think someone could point Mithra over there, and she could go
Yeah.
catch up to them.
I think like, oh right, yeah, y'all wanted to go to the Changers of the Coin,
Mhm.
but because I was like Mithra, we were talking about the gates, and I
Mhm.
think Mithra's like, I think we gotta go fucking find this gate because it might be the only way to get the majority of people out of here.
Right. So that's what. So it sounds like that's what Mithra wants to do. If anyone else is nearby and wants to join her, then they can party up with him. Chimali and Shochi, are you still headed for the Changers of Coin main city?
I think it would make sense for us to change course. What with
Yeah, we could do that.
film exploding, that seems like a higher priority. And I think I would be down for joining Mitra's gate exploration expedition.
All right. Veeb and Wynn. I know Wynn has a definite zoom in. Like, let me go to this temple. Let me go inside it. Right. Like you wanna confront a particular foe.
Yeah.
Vib.
I'm trying to think what she would want to do.
Vib check.
Yeah. Vib check. If you don't have anything, I have something for you.
Sure,
that we
yeah,
can do.
because
I think just because I want to keep this to be like good TV because we're streaming, like let's zoom in on all of our characters and we'll kind of cut back and forth between them. If that's cool with y'all.
Fuck
Yeah, I think that's spicy.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we zoom in on everyone. Everyone, take a moment. Look at your look at your look at the house move titled or character move. I forget which titled Prepare and Provision because that's what
Yeah, baby.
Ooh.
questions. I will go ahead and pull that up so we can go through that real quick. You all should have different assets based on your house. Every house playbook comes with its own list of gear. Like these could be things like ships. They could be things like followers. For instance, we've seen Chamali's genial philosophers that attend her. So when you prepare and provision, start with your assets adjusted based on your character's gear move. Every character playbook has a specific gear move. Each of your surpluses can be tapped to provide a relevant benefit. So untapped surpluses that you have, you can use to either gain a new piece of gear with one tag, add a tag to a piece of gear for this mission, or to get as many copies of a weapon, outfit, or transport as needed to outfit the whole party. Each option can be picked multiple times.
Oh wait, hold on.
Okay, so we got.
So while y'all are looking at that,
Oh, I see. Yeah, I remember this.
yeah. So while y'all are kind of figuring out how you're equipped and outfitted and armed and stuff, let me go ahead and set the scene. The Forgotten Temple is ancient. It is like no other building in Haven. It is smooth, as though it has been worn smooth by the tides for centuries, if not longer. Where the rest of Haven's buildings are kind of very tall and very steeped and have different kinds of like angled roofs or very flat surfaces. This is built very very cylindrical and dome-like. And I think it's much more aquatic than you would think. Like as Wynn kind of walks among it and sets down on the old stones here, the ground has been worn smooth by many feet over many years. The gate is kind of situated like coming out of the temple itself. This is kind of built into the gate, and so far this is the only place y'all have seen that has like a building in sort of incorporated into one of those gates. But this gate is broken. But even as you walk in, when you can feel the weight of time pressing on you, there is a silence here that kind of as soon as you cross the temple bound, the chirping of the cicadas kind of fades, and there is the stillness of the stars that settles in around you. It is, I think, peaceful here, though. It doesn't feel. I mean, you're using your attunement, right? It doesn't feel like the land is repelling you. It is welcoming you, beckoning you deeper. And as you go in, you can hear water dropping even deep within. Meanwhile, across the world, Skyfire Peak is still ablaze, though the lava has been contained by the work and cunning of the Ashes of Prithvi, who are performing heroically, especially considering that the Arbiter has said that the Keepers of the Tome will be the ones entrusted with the rituals. The
Guess I'll die.
the peak itself is surrounded by molten rock and lava, still flowing. It's almost like crossing a lake. I think using kind of transportation will be necessary here, but I think you all probably have different things like that. You might prepare yourself by giving the amount or a transport a tag, like durable. Yeah. And I think that could be represented by working with the obsidian. I think the woven here who have been helping to set up shelters are, correct me if I'm wrong, Simon, but it seems like they'd be familiar with working obsidian, given
Oh, for sure.
yeah. So kind of using heat and lava resistant stuff. It might not be the most beautiful work, but it gets the job done. If that is what you all go for, but that's only one possible option. There are many ways to get across this. On the other side, you can see where the lava frames the temple, still kind of falling like rivulets around it. The whole area is bathed in heat and ash. And all around you, the wind whips violently. The land here is in turmoil, and even those who aren't attuned to it can feel it. Meanwhile, Vib, you open your eyes, and there is a man looking down at you warmly, smiling. There is kindness and a familiarity in his face. He has a very short cropped beard, and the ears are kind of webbed back against his head, and you can see him as he looks down and says, "Bacha, my child, Mira Bacha, I see you fretting. What are you worried about? I know that frown. You'll get a crease in your forehead, and then no one will want to marry you."
Oh.
And
Real.
you've never
It's
seen
too
him
real.
before. You've never seen him before, but you know this is your father, and that his name is Flynn, Tlin. He is, of course, not Vib's father, but for the moment, he is your father.
Oh. Cool. Yeah, I think Vib is just, she's kind of soaking up this moment. So even though there's like a little part of her that's like, this isn't my father and who I remember, but she's like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. And she's just like, yeah, Baba, I'm worried about so much that everything seems like it's in turmoil. I don't know if you've seen about Skyfire Peak, but it's erupted. The land is on fire. People are losing their homes.
You're always so imaginative, and if you'll let him, he
Right.
reaches out to scoop you up.
Oh, yeah, she does, because this is it's been a while since someone has like picked her up like a kid.
And you walk into inside your house. The current is not quite as strong in here, and the water is very, very nice and cool. It is winter, but not a harsh one. He hands you a toy made out of conch shells and says, I know one day soon you'll be too old for these things, but fires, peaks. If you are worried that the waters are receding, that, as they say, one day the waters of our home will vanish and leave us to gasp in the void that lies without. That is a worry for someone else entirely.
Ugh.
I want you, and he reaches out to touch your forehead. I want you to worry about living. At least for now. The time will come when you will have to take up my staff, and you will have to lead at least our village.
Yeah, I think Vib is like just ever so slightly resistant. Something about that feels
Mm-hmm.
off to her just because she's so used to being the leader, and she doesn't necessarily mind it or feel like it's an overwhelming responsibility, but in that moment she is like, yeah, I don't need to worry about that right now. I don't want to worry about any of that right now.
Yeah.
I would like to live and just enjoy some time with you.
I think that's very true. Let's cut over to Chamali and Shochi and Mithra.
Oh.
So how are y'all now that you've had some time to figure your things out? How are y'all looking at getting across this lava, and what are you all wearing and doing? Like let's get it's been a while since we've seen our characters, so let's
That's true.
let's take a look at it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Dang. All right. Oh yes. But so Mithra, I'll describe what Mithra looks like. Mithra's probably like frantically going around just trying to like calm people. You know what I mean? Or has been working. I'm sure everybody else has too. I say this like Mithra's the only one. But Mithra's like wearing I am so blanking on the name because there's a specific name for it, but basically it's just it's basically just like cloth wrapped around your waist and like kind of tucked under, but it's wonderful. And it's just like you're very free. It's a lungi. Thank you, Slither and chat. I knew that.
There you go.
Thank you. I completely forgot the name for a second. Mithra's got a lungi on, and her hair. I like just discernible features is that like she's got long hair that's currently up, and at near the ends of it, like it kind of like smoke rises from it. Is like kind of a whole thing.
Ooh, very cool.
Being like a rishi, you've kind of hit a peak that you're of worship that your body starts to transform a little bit too. So that's how it kind of manifests, and also like her eyes are kind of look like they flicker like a candlelight.
And his sword is of course smoking with bells,
With
always
bells, and it's, like,
smoldering.
beautiful like white like clear smoke. But yeah, like his sword is like off in a corner right now, or like just off on the side where it's like I don't like. Yes, technically, yeah. I need to know about the burdens of the physical body. Sure, whatever. Fuck it.
What
In a minute.
Things to do. In a
What-
minute.
What are your tags, right, for your gear, your outfit and stuff? Is it like so everyone always has an outfit that is either practical or has the heraldry tag, and
Oh
then
yeah.
perhaps other stuff. This sounds like a practical outfit to me.
Yes. Mither probably has or had a heraldic outfit.
Mhm.
Somewhere off, like parts of it are just thrown off, and the lungi is like still on there and stuff like that. But yeah, it's practical. And the sword is an heirloom. And
The sword is an heirloom, right? So you get advantage on rolls to command and convince members of your house, and stuff happens if you lose it. Are there any other tags that are on that sword?
And melee. It's like an actual weapon.
Right.
It is a functional giant.
Do you and have you used your surplus to any of your surpluses to add tags to anything?
I have not.
Okay, cool.
Because my surpluses are all dispersed. So like.
So you
Kinda
can't,
weird.
but no one can get at them right now, which is good.
Mhm.
What are you bringing? Do you have followers, and are you bringing them?
I think I will. One of my house's gear stuff is I just get healers and
Mhm.
carers. So I think I'm gonna grab a few of them and be like,
What are their tags?
They are followers, therapeutic, genial.
Therapeutic and genial.
Mhm. Probably just like a few people who I came in and just started like who are probably already there. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like carers that take care of this temple, and I'm like, hey,
I think-
you, fucking.
I think these ones are you've deputized folk.
Basically, yeah.
From around here that you're like, you're a doctor, you're actually a part of my faith. I think they're kind of a mix of like
I love that.
like
yeah.
recruits and just like, I'm a doctor, why am I going to a volcano?
Mithra's like throwing around like it's like, listen, I am a prince and you shall obey me. And it's like,
Pretty
what?
and that like
come
that
on.
carries weight.
Yeah,
How about oh, is that everything for Mithra real quick?
that's everything. Yeah.
All right, how about Chamali?
Chimali is, I think, this time dressed a little less heraldically than she was before with her like half cape thing. I think now she has more of a like fairly simple but still very brightly colored yellow garment that's sort of like what was it called? Simon shared a really cool picture of one in chat. How do I get to that? It's called Tlahuitzli.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's a cool looking
Oh yeah, the like kind of front cape.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's sort of like goes down off your shoulders, but then it also comes around and has parts on your arms, so it's sort of a more covering like a light robe type thing for this situation where there's probably flying cinders and stuff.
And folks in the chat, I've linked a tweet that has this stuff within it.
Yeah. She's wearing in the second row the yellow one.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Okay.
So and I have I think my ambassadorial retinue of genial and therapeutic philosophers would probably still be with me because they were with me before when we left. And I also had, at least at one point, I had some wagons with me, and if I had the ability to still commandeer those, I think I probably would. Because
What are the tags for those wagons?
hulking and
Hulking.
something else. What are they?
You're
Drawn
right.
and yeah, they are.
You-
Oh, yeah.
If you have the ability to tap a surplus to give them durable, that might work.
That might work. I think what I might do, just because this seems cool, I've got a surplus of dyes and pigments. And hear me out.
Yep.
I think what they've done with that is given the transports the tag weird by painting beautiful like wards and symbols on the wagons, and their the ankylosaurs that are pulling them get like cool little
they don't
jobs that keep
They don't
them
like
safe.
this at all. They don't
Yeah.
like it. They are not happy.
But they look so
Like-
pretty.
They look so good.
Just extremely bright rainbow colors all over big club-tailed armor-shelled lizards.
And they're like, I think that's what lets you all get across the lake. Do you want to prepare and provision yourself with anything else before we move on to Shochi?
I think I'm good.
All right.
I guess I should ask about this because
Mhm.
I don't know exactly
I
how
mean,
it works. It might come up.
always ask.
I have as a forger a like heirloom exceptional quality thing that I
Mhm.
just have made myself.
Yes.
So I want her
That's
to
that's one of the things for your house.
yeah.
What is it that you want?
I am going to say my beautiful object I personally crafted is what it's called, is a pan flute. So
Mhm.
that's my cool thing that I've got.
Perfect.
And I don't know if it has tags or anything, or is it just
Um,
cool?
We'll take a look at your playbook here in a sec,
Cool.
but you've definitely got that. All
Yeah.
right. How about how about Shochi, the one and
Yeah.
only?
Oh, we got a raid,
Oh,
an
snap.
adorable duo Q raid from
hey,
Nerds with
welcome,
Dice.
Nerds with
Hey,
Dice.
what's up, Nerds with Dice?
Y'all are our favorite right now. Come on in, best raiders.
Raid,
We are in the middle of a game of Legacy Free from the Yoke, which is a hack of Powered by the Apocalypse's Legacy. Life Among the Ruins, or it might just be Legacy. Either way, it's an all POC kind of Mesoamerican and Southeast Asian inspired fantasy adventure.
Mhm.
All right, Shochi.
Yeah, so Shochi is the Factor.
Mhm.
When last we saw her, she was wearing this very resplendent dress, which was clearly like formal wear. So now this is Shochi in practical, I have to travel clothing, which I think is actually very similar to the outfit that Chimali is wearing. Because I
Ooh,
like that as a cultural touchstone of like we've
Totally.
acclimated, we've kind of borrowed from traditions. Where did it come from? Was it
Nice.
always here, or was it from way back where we came from, across the salt desert? But of course, it has its own regional distinctions. So it is a practical outfit, I think, for her. Of course, she is wearing, not on her shoulder, but on her face. All of the woven believe that above ground is
Mhm.
where spirits are, and it's like there are foreign spirits, there are different spirits. Being underground, where the dead are buried, that is different, that is safe.
Mhm.
And so above ground, we wear these like menpo, these half masks with like monstrous visages and strange symbols and things like that that might confuse or frighten or entice people who are not of our culture.
Totally.
But they're meant to repel spirits. So she's wearing that, in addition to this kind of like a dress cloaked outfit with padding.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the kind of like whippeal, like Guatemalan texturing, I think.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff.
What color is it?
I think it's probably a mix of purple, pink, and green.
Ooh.
And then like some dark colors, because I think she wears like it's that kind of embroidery over black.
Very cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
Um,
Uh,
my assets, our house provides obsidian blades, so our traditional knives, which are the jawbone with a obsidian
Right.
point,
Mhm.
which are melee weapons. They are hidden and silent.
ooh.
She has spirit bane masks with bone-lined vestments, so if she needs to be more contemplative, she can put on like bracers that
Mhm.
have bones and stuff kind of woven into them.
Mhm.
Which gives her a subtle and meditative outfit, because like when
Oh,
you
that's-
can see who
that
you
would be-
are, it's easy
Meditative
to-
is great for this.
meditative, right? That's spiritual armor.
Mhm.
So she's got that, and then she also has followers, bone wardens. So everyone within the woven wears these masks.
Mhm.
Because of spirits. The bone wardens are people who are a mixture between doctors and grave diggers and tomb delvers.
Oh my
And
god.
they're specifically trained to handle the dead
Yes.
and to deal with matters of the spirit.
Mhm.
So they are therapeutic and spiritual.
Therapeutic and spiritual.
Spiritual, yeah.
Oh, I love this. I love this game.
And the last thing I'm going to do is I think I have to do this, like get a new piece of gear and then get as many copies of it as
Mhm.
needed to outfit the whole party. Right?
Yeah. What are you taking?
All right, so check this shit out.
Yeah.
Because we are surrounded by lava and it's
Mhm.
dangerous here, I'm gonna spend my surplus of coin, I guess, to get these in the first place,
Oh.
and tap my surplus of morale because of its importance.
Mhm.
I'm providing all of us with hardy cloaks.
Ooh.
They are made from because we got dinosaurs, we got some magic
got
in here.
dinosaurs,
There's got to
yeah.
be some like fire dinosaurs, right?
Oh, totally.
There's like Stegosauri or like Triceratops or something like that.
Mhm.
Something with like a heavy scaled hide
Mhm.
that is like it's hunted for more than anything else. Like it's useful, but you also tan the hides. It's like a pack animal.
Yeah.
So it's this creature that has this hide that has been turned into a cloak, She has provided these and is then getting enough of them for everyone. And these are like super important to us because I think Shochi just like doesn't have a lot of resources that you would normally be able to tap. And also I
Right.
think they hold some kind of significance for the culture that I haven't quite figured out yet.
Totally.
But they're these cloaks of this flame dinosaur, so it's like kind of spotted black and red and orange, kind of like I think it still glows even after it's been tanned.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it probably does the like heat sensitive thing where like you put your hand on it and it responds to your body heat. So they're probably glowing warmer now that we're surrounded by all this lava.
Oh, that's really cool.
So we have these hardy outfits, these hardy cloaks.
Cool. Awesome. I love it. And would you remind me again of the tags that you're giving them?
Yeah, that outfit is hardy.
Hardy. Oh,
Hardy.
right. Okay, cool. Yes, that one. It helps you resist the elements. Perfect. Sweet. Then I think you all kind of proceed. The Ankylosaurus do not like going across the lava, but they do, and it feels. I don't think like anything flies. I think they like walk across it, and I think the lava ripples under their feet, and the heat is dissipated, but everyone still feels it, and they look so relieved when you finally arrive at the shore, at the like the platform that's at the base of the temple. This is Forger's like main. This is where the Tempered Monarch is kind of declared. Correct?
Right.
I think that like the last few steps are over where the bridge that y'all would kind of start walking up to are. And you kind of come to on the landing before the cavern that leads inside.
Ooh, real quick,
Yes.
my gear move
Oh,
allows me
yes.
to add a tag
Yeah, that's right.
to my gear.
Hmm.
And so I'm going to add that tag, scholarly, to my bone wardens. So this
I love it.
particular group of bone wardens is like skilled in, trained in like weird magic stuff more than the others are, which I think
I
will
love
be
it.
applicable.
I love it.
Nice.
Bone Wardens.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Wanted to real quick say I think part of the reason this catastrophe is so bad is
Mhm.
because the Tempered Monarch is not here. I
right.
think they were at the council meeting with the arbiters, like given accolades
Okay,
and stuff, and representing us.
That's why I waited till the changing of the seasons.
yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, so I think like we're here,
Mhm.
and Mithra's like kind of called y'all and is like, listen, there's something where well, I think like during the journey
That's
we've had our
Yeah.
we've
Turn
had
the
our,
chair around. Turn your
Yeah.
baseball cap around.
Want to rap?
like, around the block. a little bit.
Let's wrap, fellow youths.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Get
Mithra's
out of
like-
here, bot.
This is like, so the land is mad at us, right? Clearly. But, and the arbiters want to do something where they're going to open up these gates. And we know that they're trying to like, do we know why they're opening the gates? Because like we know as players,
so-
but does the world know?
Well, what the world knows is that this is going to return the land of Haven to the way it was before the Empire came, before they fell out of favor with the land, right?
Okay.
It's going to allow people, according to what the arbiters say, it'll return you to the glory of the past when they truly followed the land as it was
Right.
meant to, and you could walk from one gate to another in the span of a day and cross the breadth of Haven. It connects the land and binds us all together as we should be. And that's sort of like the fervor that they speak of it with.
Right. As we're kind of like walking down towards it, Mithra's like, so, the the arbiters say that the gates connect us, or that we can walk from one gate to another. But the land is mad, and we need to revitalize them. And then I like turn around, and Mithra like turns around and kind of looks at Chimali and is like, "We need to get your people out of here, and this is looking like a bad time, and we need to bring people here as fast as possible to help you out."
Right, that's true. But we already delivered lumber for this gate. You know, we were constructing it, but I don't know what's happened to it. It might have been destroyed in the lava flows, or I'm just not sure. I guess I know where it is because I
You know where it is.
Where is
It's
here?
under lava.
Oh no!
Okay.
But you also know that like those things have been around forever.
Right.
Lava probably hasn't destroyed it, but
Oh, like lumber
Uh,
items.
I need you, and then I'm like, I think I like kind of kneel down because I feel like Mithra's pretty tall, and or like try to like get like right at your eye level.
Uh-huh.
Chimali, do you know about the history of the sages and the forgers?
Well, you know, I know that we're sort of different branches of sort of the same religion. I mean, I don't really know exactly all the details from your side. You know, I've mostly studied our part. To be fair.
That's fine. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. In the exchange, you know, we were once one people, and then like I think like Mithra kind of like move, like push the hair back up that like fell down, and like the smoke, and like you kind of see that it's like we are people of fire.
Mhm.
And
That we are.
but you, in the split, the land chose your people, while the spirits chose ours. I feel like we can open a gate without the arbiters and help us out.
there is a howl from within the temple.
And I think, no, I think like Mithra like kind of like steals her and is like, I need you to help me contact the old tempered monarchs, the spirits of those down there.
Wow, amazing. That's actually very cool. Evan points out in the chat. Sounds like Mitch was trying to invade a sacred space. I don't know.
I mean, it might be. I mean, listen, that's
Yeah.
all.
Well, again, we'll see what happens as you guys go through it, but that's definitely on the table here.
That is
Because
a big
inviting
reason why.
witnesses
Well,
to their
Y'all
that
are
is-
crime.
doing stuff in
That is
sacred
why
places.
Mithra is asking Chimali, like, is like, hey, this is your space.
Yeah, can they?
All your dead leaders.
Hey, we know that doesn't work because the river folk were invited to the forest.
So if you
The law doesn't give a shit.
the difference here is that the volcano is already firebombed. So like it depends. If you contacted the ancient tempered monarchs and they damaged the sacred space, then yeah, that's the law being broken right there. We'll see what happens.
And then I think Mithra kind of like looks up towards Shochi, kind of gives you a smile, like we're close. I like Mithra kind of talks to Chimali like a teacher. We do actually have like a backstory where it's I want to teach Chimali what's truly important. So like thing. But like Mithra kind of like cracks Shochi a smile and says, "Do you got a problem with this?"
I think she's been like directing and like looking out over the lava flows and like talking to the bone wardens, like, and turns back. Like she's been gesturing with the knife,
Mhm.
and then turns back and just like cinches it into her belt in the way that, you know, movies like people unnecessarily just like clink the sword into the scabbard to like
Yeah.
make a point as they walk into the transition cut. She like stuffs the knife into her belt. No, I don't have a problem with that. Saved your life once before. I'm used to bailing you out of bad situations.
And I think on that line,
I love
that
that.
takes us, that like
I
that
love
that
it.
takes us. Sochi's cloak spins past the viewer, and when it passes, we're inside the temple as y'all descend the steps.
Yeah.
Jamali, what does it look like in here?
I was actually thinking I might propose an alternate plan
Oh,
Mhm.
sure. Yeah.
before we did that.
Okay.
Because I think Shivali has a plan that is less reckless.
What is Jamali's plan?
A little less reckless.
Okay.
So, I know a ritual called
Mhm.
Bones of the Earth.
Ooh.
No.
that's
Sweet.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
This is one of the moves that I took for the Forgers, which gives a ritual to my character. So,
That it does. So, pulling that up here.
yeah, I can read it out if you like.
Go for it.
So it says, the land is a living, breathing thing. As an apiarist works with the bees to create gold, so the earth takes an active role in your crafts. Add the bones of the earth to your traditions. When your character enacts this ritual, they may draw on the stability and resolve of the earth, reinforce a structure with ramparts of rock, or crack open the rock to release a gout of water, a vein of valuable minerals, or the earth's scorching red blood. I've already got enough of
Mhm.
that. But I was thinking that, since we are near a pretty large civilization hub, one of the things that's probably somewhere around Skyfire Peak is a cenote, like a big underwater water reservoir cavern.
Mhm.
And I think since Chibali knows where that is, she might try to do a ritual to pull that water through the earth and then bring it out here so that it can fight the lava, basically.
So that okay. Like when you say, where do you want it to fight the lava? Like around the outside or inside the temple, or? I guess fighting the lava is pretty good. Let's roll and see what happens. Let's play to find
Yeah.
out.
I think my
So-
intention would probably be that this somehow comes out in a controlled way where it's just going to she's going to have some of her workers be building pathways for it to flow down so that it gets, it's not destroying buildings and washing things away. It's going to just get rid of the lava behind us, make a path across it, get rid of the lava that's separating the temple that's cut off, that sort of thing. A very strategic plan.
Moses parting the sea kind of thing.
So
Right.
you've said what you wanted to do. Now roll plus lore.
All right, my lore is +1, so we'll see how this goes.
Roll those bones.
All right, I got a 6 + 1 is 7.
All right, on a 7 and 9, pick one blessing. You can pick from the magic does exactly what you desire, no more, no less. The magic is far more powerful than normal. A surge of power heals a flesh wound. Pick 2 banes. I cannot pick them. You gain fleeing advantage, and you gain insight into your tutor's current state. You don't have a tutor, so ignore that one. And then I'll pick a bane, +1 for each, but you don't have any conditions, so I'll pick 1 bane.
Oh, that's not too bad, actually. I
So
was gonna
pick
say we
one
could
blessing.
try and get a help from one of you guys to get it all the way up to a 10+. Maybe we should do that anyway, just 'cause it kind of makes sense.
I think this is your house's ritual, and
I
no
don't
one
know.
else here knows it. So I don't think they can.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool. So I will. Let's see here. I'm gonna say the magic does exactly what I desire, no more, no less. I think
All
that's
right.
good.
Yes, that is, and so you start kind of, I think, immediately around you first, like a flow of water kind of starts trickling into the temple very strategically to kind of clear a path for you all, because there's definitely lava in here a little bit.
Mhm.
And kind of around. It's your followers, your philosophers are working to kind of make sure that everything around here is safe. And Chimali is what does it look like when you conduct this ritual?
That's a
Yeah.
good question.
I
I
don't know.
actually haven't thought a lot about what that looks like. So I think that it must be that she is making uh like a diagram because she's an architect. So I think that what she does is that she's basically like drawing out lines like in the air for what this is going to look like, and she's got magic AutoCAD where she's
Okay.
like drawing out what this is going to
Ooh,
look like.
I
And
like that.
yeah, so I think that she's like planning it out, and like, you know, she's got little calculations for like how things are going to go and how much water she's going to need and stuff.
I think that really suits the forger's aesthetic. It's very precise and kind of artful. And I think
She's got like a
the forgers being the forgers, like what's the artistic quality to this?
Yeah, I think it's she's got a paintbrush that she's got like a couple of different pigments and things on like a belt around her waist, and she
Mhm.
keeps putting the paintbrush in and drawing different parts in different colors. And I think the paint is like bleeding into itself in like these really lovely sort of like rainbowy gradients, like even more so than paint would normally mix. Like it
Very
should
nice.
muddy and stuff after a while, but it's staying really bright and clear.
As we do that, as Chumali is doing that, Mithra, you and Shochi are having a conversation. It sounds like.
Oh yeah. So like, I think like as you know we're walking down, and as Shamali is kind of like building us, like giving us away. Mithra like as like falls into step with Shochi and kind of hushly whispers, "Do you feel it too? Are you kind of worried about this? You know, not this, but them."
They helped us fight the Empire off. And we
It's
should be
true.
grateful. And I should be grateful that you have taken our presence at court. The sages have much to teach. It is a great honor to be chosen by them.
Funny you say that. It seems like I still have a few friends back with my people, and the arbiters, we've lost our holding in the court. It seems like we've made a few missteps, called out a few too many people.
I admit it hurt as much. I wanted you to break the news rather than me.
And then like Mithra kind of looks back at Chamali and is like, "What have you been teaching her? She seemed to maybe not want to do this. Find another way."
Chamali reminds me of one of our mutual companions. You've met Viv, the one running the ashes now.
Oh yeah.
She's tenacious. She has a fire. Chamali's energy is boundless, certainly. I worry that perhaps she's too focused on the naivete of the world.
Mhm.
At least one of us should hold hope. Should they not?
Oh,
It's really funny. It's really funny that you're the one out of us to do so.
And as you all are sharing these maybe potentially seditious thoughts, the ritual finishes.
Potentially.
I pick my bane, which is the creatures of the land attack you. Out of the lava, roaring are fire spirits. They wear the shape of humans, but they are decidedly not. Their limbs are too long. Their faces are much too angular, and they smolder and burn and advance towards you. And that is where we are going to go to break. Stick around, folks. We'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. We'll try and air closer to 5. Maybe let's call it 8. And we'll continue this when we come back. We're going to take a short break. We're going to run a brief ad to benefit the channel. So please stick around and watch that, or just let it run. I mean, the robots don't know if you're actually in front of your screen. Grab a drink, go to the bathroom, grab a snack, and come back to find out what happens next. We'll see you in a few, folks.
Yeah.
Woo! Now we're live. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you got some good gamer fuel during your bio break. I know I'm amped up on Surge and Band Jolt Cola, so let's get to this. So, creatures of fire and flame have pulled themselves up out of the lava wearing human shape, and they are advancing towards Chimali, Shochi, and Mithra and their followers that are decidedly not decidedly yeah. So we'll kind of leave them in that spot for just a moment to check in with Win.
When sitting on a couch, talking to,
Just
talking to their
like-
therapist.
It's like picking up bags of like hot flaming hot Cheetos and like
Catching a ball game.
I don't think we checked how is Win outfitted for all of this.
I did have a question.
Yes.
Can I provision move,
Mm-hmm.
but not tap any resource and just get my character gear move?
Oh yeah, you automatically get that even if
Yeah.
you just tap the surpluses to add stuff to it. So you get all of your normal gear, followers, assets, transports,
Right.
weapons, outfits.
So I can tap prepare and provision, and then get the gear move, which is add attack to your armor or outfit when you prepare and provision, but not
Yep.
tap any resources.
Exactly. You do not have to tap a surplus as part of prepare provisions. So add a tag to your armory or outfit.
I will add a tag of
Excuse me.
let us see. Which one was I gonna pick?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are a lot of good tags to add. I think that you already have heirloom on your axe.
There's, brutal heirloom and has cleave from a couple different sources.
Right. Yeah, I think you natively have cleave, don't you? As
I get cleave from having a band of raiders as gear,
Mhm.
and then I also get cleave from my move against countless enemies,
mm-hmm.
where I
You-
get the cleave tag always on my gear, and then I never suffer a disadvantage from being outnumbered.
Right. Which is, I can tell you, about to come in handy.
I think I'm going to add the weird tag to the
Mhm.
axe as the river folk tap into used the attunement and are getting
Right.
closer to the sacred space. The axe may be acting in strange, unexpected ways.
A spooky effect specific to the weapon. Yeah, I think it's smoldering. I think it's smoldering, and I think in the smoke you can see, and sometimes if you listen carefully, even hear the bombing.
Ooh. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, cool. Win and his band of raiders, his friends,
Mhm.
go do a delve. I
They-
think Win is going to do the courtesy of inviting Kotimak if they would like to join.
Oh yeah, I can
sure.
definitely see that.
this guy.
Haha, Simon, no break for you.
What do you all got, Snake?
Ooh. Ooh.
Well, we just want to finish the job. I don't know if you want to
Mhm.
be like the rest of them and just walk away.
No,
Well,
of
they're
course
still-
not. You never show a fool a half a job anyway.
Of course.
So you go into the old temple.
Yes, we go into the old temple.
Inside the temple, it is you can hear the sound of the ocean. You can hear the tide kind of coming in as waves start lapping against an unseen shore. It is very quiet, and glittering motes of dust kind of every now and then illuminate as they float past the windows in here that let in the natural light. As you descend into the depths of the temple, though, and the ground grows wet with underground water that smells of the sea, it gets darker and darker. Fortunately, you all have torches. And you guys can kind of see a well hewn chamber that's covered in symbols, glyphs. A petroglyphic language of some kind is here.
If only you had scholarly followers.
Any idea what that reads?
Any idea?
I think Wynn's like sort of band of raiders notice it, but like Wynn is just like, no, we're going this way.
Jesus.
You press
Let's see
on.
where you're going.
You press on, moving past. I think there's like a statue that's kind of broken, and you see like the legs where they're kind of cut in a diagonal, and then on the ground in two pieces is the torso of a human that's kind of vaguely aquatic. And as you walk into a wide atrium where there's like a tidal pool here, you can see where the water is. As you step in, blue ghostly light flares up in sconces all around the wall, as though torch flame, but it's just sort of a blue light that emits a soft haze. As you walk in, a shot rings out, and a blast from a gun spear lands very near Wynn. Stepping out of the shadows are Wynn's cousin, whose name is, I think, whose name we haven't heard on camera. But the leaders of the Ghosts of the Serpent kind of step out from the shadows. They are above you in a well-fortified position.
Above us in a well-fortified position. Let's see. Well, do they outnumber us?
I mean, they don't outnumber you.
Okay.
I don't think they outnumber your followers either. I think maybe they're evenly matched.
Right. Okay. Well, when I lead the charge, when you charge into battle at the head of a group of allies, both you and those that follow you roll with leading advantage. So, as is the way, head first into
All
danger.
right. Into danger. Lead the charge. So are you fiercely assaulting? It sounds like.
Yes.
So talk to me about what that looks like, and then roll plus bravery or plus might. Roll plus might.
Plus might. Yes. I think what it looks like, if this is like sort of a temple and a cave, I imagine there's like pillars and alcoves, and like Wynn is very much doing like just sort of going from cover to cover, getting closer. Every once in a while, like one of his people will go down, and like we're in the other when or in any other war movie, like the good guys would like try and drag their friend out. He just keeps going, just leaves them to fucking halt in that gallery. Like they are. Wynn's a great guy. Wynn's a great person. They're fine.
Yeah. So roll plus might. and roll
Yeah.
with fleeting advantage. So roll 3d6 and take the highest 2.
I think once Wynn gets close enough, they start climbing up to that higher position, trying to get in melee range.
Let's see what happens.
And Wynn, since they changed their roll recently, got a bump. It's their might, so they have a +3.
Hot dang!
If you roll 3 ones right now, I'm gonna laugh.
I will too.
Can I tell you about the syntax on how to roll?
No,
You
that is
did.
not. That is the opposite of threes.
Well, that's what's it? 4, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Oh,
Spicy.
So
like
that
that.
is a 10. You succeeded your goal. On a hit, you've achieved your goal. Your enemies are wounded, bound, or fleeing, depending on what your objective is. On a 10 plus, you choose 2 and I choose 1.
Wounded and bound.
What are your? So you pick a list of these options. Your avenue of escape is clear. You inflict savage, terrifying harm and frighten your foes. You scavenge a useful piece of gear in the aftermath. You learn something useful. Ask a question and get fleeting advantage acting on it.
Right. Okay. I will inflict savage, terrifying harm, frightening my foes,
Mm-hmm.
and also scavenge a useful piece of gear in the aftermath.
hell yeah!
All right. So I think you cleave off because your axe is a brutal, right?
Yes.
I think you cleave off the arm of one of the like it's a very clean and cauterizing cut, so it's not super gory, but you just like slash and the gun spear clatters to the floor. So you scavenge a gun spear and
Hell
you
yes.
inflict harm, savage, terrifying harm, and you drive back your foes. I am going to say the situation is destabilized and chaos will follow. As you shed blood inside this temple, the ground itself starts to quake. The pool roils, and the water spouts up in a massive geyser. And we'll see what happens next. But meanwhile, let's check back in with. Let's check in with Quatamok. What are you doing? You're there.
Yeah, I think he was all too content to let Wynn shove and push up. So like he's got his shield, he's got his Makwai, and he's like, "All right, you're going first. I'm gonna survive because it's gonna be cause an international incident if you die." But it's like jumping over the bodies that Wynn's leaving in their wake, and like blocking and like shoving people off, and like I think in the background is like for every couple shots that like Wynn is just being a badass of just slicing through these guys, there's like a shot of Quatamok like shield bashing someone off a ledge who like was gonna sneak up on Wynn. But aside from that, I think Quatamok is like, all right, this place is weird. I'm here to fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. And I think like maybe he just directs like the troops to be like, all right, we cleared it out, secure a perimeter, make sure nobody's going to hit us on the rear flank. And I want 5 of you to go ahead, scout down this tunnel or whatever it is, you know?
That feels like act under orders because you're
Yeah.
giving orders to your followers or to someone's followers. So to do that, roll plus tags. These are, I assume, the raiders that are accompanying Wynn.
Unless
how many-
Quatamok
Do you
brought
have
some up there.
followers?
Yeah, I do.
What are the tags on them?
They are horde and savage or vicious.
All right, roll plus
And
tags.
vicious, yeah.
Because this
So roll
is
plus
definitely a task within their specialty.
Yeah. So I got a 6 on the dice, and they've got 2 tags.
So that's an 8. On a 7 to 9, the task is done, but choose one. They fell short in one particular aspect. There will be unfortunate consequences, or it costs them. They lose a tag.
I think there'll be unfortunate consequences.
So there will be. They move to take up cover and protect you. I think they even counter an ambush that was happening, but they are not able to react and leave you all vulnerable as something emerges from within the geyser. Roiling up out of it comes undaunted and unimpeded, one massive claw arm, then another, then another and another, as the crab the crab
up?
armor
Claws up.
shoots out of the
No.
tide pool.
The quabs.
When you lock eyes with the pilot of this mech, you recognize them. You've seen this person before. And just to double check, I have your permission to deliberately mispronounce Wynn's name, right?
As that very specific.
Just
Wait, yes.
you see piloting this an Imperial commander that you once clashed with. You were pretty sure you left them for dead.
Oh my god.
If it isn't Captain Nuwan.
Fuck.
Oh my god. That's so good.
Can I get a clean take of that line, please?
If it isn't Captain Nuwan. You left
Oh god.
and this thing is
over there, the attack drag.
12 feet
So
tall at
good.
least. Probably not much bigger, not more than a story, but it's big. It takes up a lot of room. It has a massive armored shell on its back. It has 2 pincher arms and 2 human arms. The human arms are holding a mech-sized gun spear. Gun glaive. They're not cool enough to have a spear. It's a
Gun glaive.
Ooh.
Gunglaive.
and
yeah,
it
that's
charges
that new,
you. It charges you, Captain.
Come at me.
Friend of yours, fish.
What do you do?
Kill it. I boil it and get some Old Bay.
Crab mech.
I thought you were seeing someone new.
Oh,
Get
that's
them
what
down
the-
with that.
And anyone regretting clawing up the mech, once you take out the soft shell meat inside, really, let's get a little
That's
bit of
free
lemon
real
and butter.
estate, too.
There's a lot of free real estate right here.
This
Well,
episode could
found
be
common
titled
ground right
"Win
now.
Gets a Mech."
I
What?
I know. I want you to have your hero moment. I
Yeah.
think Quatemok is all right. We charged in here head first. Now there's a giant friggin' crab mech. This person is not gonna die here. And Quatemok, I think, just squares up and is like, all right, let's dance.
All right.
Tries to shove Nguyen out of the way to be like, all right, you figure something out. You figure something out, fish, because this is your enemy. I'm gonna stall for as long as you need to get that thing online or whatever it is you're gonna do, and pump
And,
a couple rounds into this thing's guts.
While Quatemok kind of stalls, let's bounce back over to bounce back over to a similar situation around the caldera of a volcano at the temple within its base, or up on the slopes of it, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Fire creatures are coming up out of the lava flows and are advancing upon the party.
Woof. I think that Shmali has a quick reaction,
Yes.
which is obviously to pull out her pan flute.
Yeah.
And I
Fucking
also realized that I did when I did prepare and provision earlier, I neglected my playbook gear
Ah.
move.
Perfect.
which apparently lets me gain a new transport out of nowhere that has 2 tags
Ooh.
on it. So I'm gonna say maybe I did that because that sounds awesome.
Totally.
I'm gonna say that I had a Swift luxury mount, which is my personal riding raptor. So I've been riding on a raptor this whole time. Let's go.
On the
Oops,
back
all
of that
dinosaurs.
hulking wagon.
Yeah,
Oh,
We got
you
the
know.
dino mounts.
we
we
got
We did it.
Dino mount.
I'm
We
so
got him.
excited.
Yeah.
Mithra just the entire time has just been like, oh, but no, that's hey, buddy. It just like really.
Yeah, it's very pretty. And so I am going to. I think I was off of my mount for that, but I am going to heroically like leap up into the saddle,
Totally.
and call out to my followers, and say, "Don't be afraid, everyone. This land is still ours, and even if it's rising up in anger now, we can help it. We can calm it." And I start to play on my pan flute like a traditional song of this city. It's just like a folk song, like that you'd hear in the market any day of the week. And it's got like, lots of bits you can sing along to. So I'm trying to get everybody to just sing along with my nice, happy song to disarm this situation.
Ooh.
Oh my
All
god.
right. Go for it. Try it.
All right, rolling plus bravery, which is a +1. Holy crap! I rolled an 11. Look,
Sweet.
Yes.
here's the
All right.
dice.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
So
I
when
didn't think that was gonna work, but okay.
when you roll a
Really?
10 plus on disarm, let's pull that up real quick. So you disarm. You roll plus bravery. You do not need to choose one thing. The situation is safe unless changed significantly. I think the fire creatures are kind of swaying in tune to the rhythm of the pan flute.
Oh.
Amazing. So she just
What-
sort of keeps on playing and is
What
like
about-
kind of has that expression of like, let's keep this going.
What are Mithra and Shochi doing?
Mithra's not much of a fighter, so like
You have a
Yeah.
giant sword.
it's not
It's decorative.
no, it's not decorative, it's ceremonial. There's a big difference.
Oh my god. Oh.
What is
gosh.
ceremony if not cultural decoration?
Oh, what? Wait. Also, but Mithra has a +1 in bravery, so I guess isn't like afraid to use it, just isn't great at it. But will not be the one to like charge into battle. So, as his sword out and is like actually kind of wielding it, it kind of really like on her shoulder, like ready to kind of do a big heave, and is like, okay, like hearing this happening, like getting ready, and it just all of them are entranced, and Mithra's like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
So that's kind of just waiting.
And Shochi?
Goodness. We Shochi is not a fighter. Like legitimately not a fighter.
What a party we have.
She is a diplomat and a spy and has a knife. She could fight, but I don't think she's going to do that. I think she's going to direct the Bone Wardens,
Mhm.
like you, front. What do we know of these? We must have some. I didn't pay for the best and the brightest of your cadre to have you stand around. Use that knowledge.
Roll that
Like,
under
clapping
orders.
along with the song, like,
Yeah.
oh, should we help?
You are sending a group of followers to perform a task within their specialty. Roll plus tags.
All right, so they've got 3 tags, thank God, because I rolled a 4 on my
Sweet.
dice.
Oh,
So they have a
geez.
7.
On a 7, so choose one. They fell short in one particular aspect. There will be unfortunate consequences, or they lose a tag.
I think they fall short in one particular aspect.
So they tell you that these are they know these spirits, right? They're the fire spirits that dwell within the lava. They're the spirits that the those who are not judged worthy to be the tempered monarch, right? That's some of these, but there's something strange about them. They look different than they should, because normally it's like spirits of fire. They don't have human form. And they also are not able to identify the figure that is currently striding out of the temple that is made. They are made of, their body is just living flame. They are human sized and entire, like they are the shape of a person. They're extraordinarily androgynous and like too, like almost too beautiful, like it kind of crosses over into terrifying. Like their cheekbones are sharp and there's no features on their face except for two eyes that are black onyx points. It's great. They are wearing a long regal robe of flowing fabric that's woven together of different colors that does not seem to burn, and it's like the body is entirely containing this roiling fire.
Damn.
Perhaps I was wrong. Perhaps we need not meet in thunderous warlike fury as titans clashing, trampling flat those who dwell ensnared by storm-like shadows. Meanwhile, Veeb.
Oh my god.
What colonizer is Veeb gonna get?
Yes. Veeb is ready.
Veeb is ready. Veeb, the character with the highest kill count of us right now.
So far.
Who's just like seeing all these other things and has noped out. Just chosen no. No, I will not.
So you've spent days living in your village. They've passed. You don't really remember them. They blur from one to another the way that time passes in a dream. One moment you are meeting with the other children in your village. The next moment you're standing beneath that bright, glowing mote of light, because as we discussed last time, deep beneath the ocean, it's lit. The kelp around here is thick and swaying, and your father is older. And when you look down, your body it's at that awkward edge between childhood and adulthood. Your limbs are long and painful. You know that there's all the growing pains of the tail end of that transition from that like teenage to adulthood. You're on that cusp. I fear this may be my last time here. I know you are a woman now, but I cannot help but see my baby.
She looks worried. What do you mean this is your last time? I don't. You seem well.
I am. We're all well. You don't understand now. I think in time you will. I wish we could have bought a few more years, but change is coming and it waits for no one. And all who live during times of change, during times of transition, face terrible hardship. I wish I could protect you from it. I wish I could shield you. I wish I could, like I did when you were a little girl and fell and skinned your knee. pick you up and kiss the skin where it had scraped and bruised and the blood had flown into the water. But now I must do more to shield you, to shield all of us. Do you know much about the starlight we hold down here?
She looks confused. It's like, I'm not familiar with the ocean. Some of the lore masters do, but
Long
everything-
ago, a star fell. It blazed from the sky, and it came to rest deep beneath here. And Veeb, like, looking, like, you look around, and in that, like, realization of dreaming and not dreaming all at once, you kind of see the edges of a crater and how everything in this point slopes downward. We tend it, and it tends us. But our land is changing. The waters are flowing back year by year. We cannot hold back the tide. We must all change. Who we are, how we live. We must give up our way of life in order to continue living. And I'm afraid that I will not be around to see that happen. This is not the only starlight down here. I have talked to some of the other elders.
Some of the other elders? You mean who live in my village, or are there
Who live in villages beyond this one? The world is so much bigger than any of us know. I fear we are only beginning to explore and see, and we must change. We are going to change, and you are going to lead us out of this change. It will not be easy. For a time, we will walk where the spirits walk. Mortals are not meant to live where spirits do. I do not know how long you will be there, whether it will be a day or a year. But the world will be so different when you come out. I wish I could see it. I love you.
V reaches out and is like, wait, you have to leave right now?
No, I don't. But when I look at you, I cannot help but say it. Tonight, when the moon is far above the waters, though not as far as it has been, when the moon is at its peak, I must go. Do not weep for me. I will be with this mote of starlight. I will bind it. My body will become its body. Together, we're going to unite this land, bind it together and make it a place where we can all be protected. You will see. Sit with me for a while, and let's watch the tuna. And I think unless you do or say anything else, he just kind of sits quietly and, lights up with underwater heat a pipe and just kind of relaxes, and you have an evening together.
I want to say that it, like, when he sits down, like, the camera's behind Veeb, and when it turns to face her, whatever, like, kind of relaxed, youthful energy that she's had throughout these dreams is starting to close up, and that, like, same energy that she normally has is building back up again. And there's a shift in the way she's acting, where she's already, like, getting back into I'm the leader and I have to take care of my village and my people mode, and like whatever was here is gone. As she like sits down.
And I think we leave you there. Let's check back in for a moment with Win.
Bang, 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 bang.
All right. So Quatemok is trying to buy you time. What are you doing?
Using the gun spear. I just.
All right. Fiercely assaulted is.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Do I still have leading advantage?
No, you don't have. You do not still have fleeting advantage.
Okay.
That lasts for
Okay.
one roll.
It float.
That's why it's fleeting.
I mean, words have meaning, but also words are fake.
Words have
things
meaning, but
can be
also fuck
true.
you.
Words have meaning when they agree with me, but
So make that fiercely assault roll. It sounds like.
hey, that's a 12.
That's a 12. All right. You have achieved your goal. What are you? You pick 2 from the list. What are you picking?
Okay, let me pull it up. Here we go. Fiercely assault. Definitely inflicting harm,
Mm-hmm.
and do I want a piece of gear from this? No, I want to learn something useful.
All right. Ask a question and get fleeting advantage acting on it.
I want to know if Pierre Dumont here, if where the rest of his Imperial forces are, if any.
You can tell they are in the halls around you. Some of the soldiers here are Imperial troops that have been that are kind of come back. That you have seen slain, that are up and fighting.
Mhm.
And I get to pick one. I think you take harm appropriate to the enemy.
Oh,
This is a mortal wound. So,
Hang on.
yeah.
I
say no. I don't want that.
no wait. That I can't remember what the thing I do. Hang on. There's a thing where like you can it's marked down.
So
Is
if
that
you
defensive?
yes, harm and death.
No, I did not take defensive.
So, when you take harm, I will tell you what level it is. Write a description
Yes.
of the wound in the slot of the appropriate level. If you have no slots of the right level, upgrade the level of harm, flesh to heavy, heavy to deadly. If you have a gear tag that provides armor, you may strike out that tag to downgrade harm, deadly to heavy, heavy to flesh.
I thought I did, but I did not. I went with weird. That was the thing. Yeah,
You went with weird.
yeah. That's
I
so I took more.
will take that. You do take a mortal wound. I believe you have just the one, right?
Well, I got healed by.
Yes, you got healed. But I believe most. Oh no, you just go straight to dead.
Oh, do I?
Yep.
Great.
Can I
That's awesome.
Yes.
step in?
Absolutely, you can.
May I?
Like I want you to make your move, right? Because
Yeah.
in true PPDA fashion, like sometimes the move just happens, right?
Yeah.
A move
But
just
I think
happens.
that like part of what Kotemok is doing is like being in place to try and like take this thing's attention onto him
Yeah,
and like
absolutely. So you you do that, and I think Quatemok gets kind of leaps in to kind of give Win the opportunity to fire, and that glaive comes down, and Quatemok takes a mortal wound unless he
Yeah.
has some armor.
gear on quick characters.
Let's check real quick. Quick
Is it-
characters.
You always get your
Stats.
house gear.
You always get your house gear.
Mhm.
And Quatemok was a leader or a champion?
Yes, he's a leader.
It's about the same way. So
Yeah, you gain gear and an ability from your house's assets and inheritance section. So,
Well, he has no armor then in that case.
Okay.
So I'm cool with that.
yeah. All right. I think Quatemok dies. But
Yeah.
you have a death move.
Mhm.
I do. When I
Quatemok-
die,
Mhm.
I gain 3 more hold. So normally when I train a group for a few days, I get 3 hold. And I can spend that for my recruits to do things and get bonuses. So I get extra hold when I die, and I can spend it when I wish to give another character's role advantage. Each beneficiary says how your memory inspires them. So I think like the move is like, you got any ideas, fish, right? And like go off, do this thing,
Yeah.
right? Nguyen's doing what they're doing, and is like getting the gun spear ready and like assessing the tactical situation. And
Yeah.
Quatemok like bangs on the shield, like, "Hey, get over here, you oversized entree!" And like is like swinging and roaring, like, "I can do this all day!" Like slam, like the claw like smashes into the wall. He's like, "Ah!" Right, and then like rolls around, and he's like, "The best you got," and then he gets skewered, just like. The viewer thinks that this is going to be like a cool action sequence. No, he just like crunch, just slammed against the wall, and like doesn't get a cool one-liner, doesn't get any closure, just like is crushed.
oh my god.
Like the best thing you got, your oversized
Yeah.
like can of, not can, like,
And then
slug, right? And that I think. Quatemok and Win were having this like, we're gonna build up to like rivals to whatever, rivals to lovers, maybe, who knows what.
Going from sniffing necks to kissing
Yeah,
necks.
like Win feeds on that energy. I feel like.
Yeah.
That's how Win shows affection. So I think that's gonna inspire you to fight harder.
Oh yeah, 100%.
all right. I think on that tragic moment, let's cut back over to Jamali, Mithra, and Shochi. All right. So this figure has stepped out from the temple and is addressing you.
And what were their exact words again?
Their exact words were, "Perhaps we need not meet in thunderous warlike fury as titans, trampling flat those whose lives are ensnared by storm-like shadows."
Oh my god.
It's extremely cool. I definitely am like winding down the last couple notes of my song, and sort of like let the last note trail off and hold it, and then like stop playing and look around at the fire spirits to see if they start attacking again.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me, do your thoughts turn to sweet-scented peace? That fragrant lure that draws in close all hearts that breathe its perfumed promises of ease? What air breathe you, traveler? Red-tinted war, or shall we speak in peaceful hues?
Interesting.
Oh my god.
So I think I kick my raptor's sides and have it sort of like advance closer. I don't think I get down off it. I think I stay up there actually.
Fuck yeah.
I'm picturing this person as like levitating, or are they walking?
I also
They are-
picture-
They're made
They're
of
like
fire,
a few inches.
so
They're a few inches off the ground, let's say.
yeah,
Yeah.
as you do. So I think I will say, yeah, I'm a diplomat, so I think I'll say, it pleases me to greet you as a guest in our house. I am Chmali of the Forges of Unbroken Bonds, and it is my utmost pleasure to make your honored acquaintance. In regards to your question, the Forgers have always chosen to paint with every color available to us, the one most suitable for the moment.
Oh.
Into it.
Yeah. I think like Mithra like just kind of puts down the sword, like kind of holds it out. There's like Yeah, okay.
That
It's-
sounds
it's
like
got it.
that sounds like find common ground to me.
Cool. If you're using the same metaphor as someone.
Yeah.
Right, let's
Fuck
roll
yeah.
plus cunning.
Yes.
Almost like we have
So
a theme.
when you find common ground, roll plus cunning.
Oh my god, I'm on fire. That was another 11.
Another
God
11.
damn,
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the
Uh,
12 total with my plus 1.
Sure.
Ooh.
Sure. So when you find common ground, I guess you're asking them to. It sounds like you're asking them to not fight right now, to kind of like chill out
Yeah,
and
to-
talk.
To open negotiations.
So on a 10 plus, they're open to do it if you meet their terms. They want you to. They want you to. I don't know that you pose much of that they think you pose much of a threat to them.
Fair.
They want you to reveal your full agenda here.
Cool.
Ooh.
So I think I'll say I'll say we are here on a humanitarian aid mission. We are simply trying to help the people who have been hurt by this.
And the
unexpected-
figure holds out a finger, and you feel like this burning in your mind as the knowledge is pulled from you
Yoink!
Ooh.
without words.
Oh,
Dang.
Would Mithra know anything about this? Like having spent their lifetime so far studying spirits and all this
Fire.
stuff. I'm just kind of curious.
This is a spirit of fire, but it seems more human than most spirits would. It seems like it's perhaps if you had to guess, you would say it's in a vessel, and that vessel is a person.
Okay,
was a
all right.
person.
oh, it's mantling.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so this is like
Apologies.
very weird for Mithra.
Apologies, but I fear I must be hasty. With your permission, of course, I shall return the favor and show you my agenda here.
There's just hesitation when she's like, well, this is probably going to hurt. And she says, yes, of course.
And the flame spirit looks to both Mithra and Shochi as well. Clearly, like instantly knowing, yeah, these are the leaders.
I think Mithra kind of like just bows, like respectfully.
I think Shoshi shows like extreme deference, where she's like down on one knee, and I think takes the knife out and holds it up as like a symbol with the obsidian blade,
Whoa.
as like we're honored by your presence, Great Spirit. We wish no harm. We are merely here to learn. What do you have to teach?
And there is I think for a moment that fire explodes outward from them, and it's on you. It's sort of covering you, but it does not burn. And there's like a pricking sensation, like when your limbs have fallen asleep. And as that fades, you understand. This is the speaker of flame. It is a spirit of fire given and also claimed by a human. It was woken and called from the deepest depths of the mountain, and it was done to awaken Skyfire Peak, because for too long the cries to the sky have gone unanswered, and the time has come for fire to meet sky. And they, with the eruption, have called down the sky.
A word?
Huh.
Hmm.
Mithra's like, you see like an expression change from kind of like meditative acceptance, right? Because I feel like she was like, okay, yeah, all right, I'm vibing with this. And then like as that information goes, she kind of like gets stone faced and is like, oh no.
Yeah, I think from her just slightly higher vantage point aboard, astride her steed, Chimali looks very slowly, turns her head and looks over towards the bay and the enormous underwater crater where a meteor impact, nearly destroyed everything. It's just like, oh, and I think for once she's just totally lost for words.
And above you, that ring in the sky, that ring of ash, that perfect circle begins to crackle with lightning. And you find the gate. You see the gate. Your workers completed it. The project has it has 4 points of progress now, and turmoil increases by 1 to 4. As you see the gate, and it also crackles with lightning, and kind of light streams from the gate to the cloud around the sky.
Oh.
And we'll leave you there.
This is why the orbiters don't like y'all.
At the gate.
Don't
So
do
I,
shit
I'll
like
say
this.
the gate. You see the gate, kind of throwing off the lava, right? As the parts that have been restored kick on, and that gate opens up. You can see a starlit realm, a void beyond. Win. The crab mech is bearing down on you. The Imperial captain coming, and you hear your cousin shout, "No! He dies by my blade. Clean up the rest if you must."
What? But
Remember by whose orders you are here, Imperial dog.
Oh.
And your cousin turns to face you. I am Stormclouds at dusk. You killed our god. The time has come to answer for it. Vib. The sun has set and night in the ocean is peaceful, but tonight feels cold. It feels like a long wait. And you know how sometimes time passes even slower in a dream than it does in reality? This feels like a month. And when midnight hits, your father approaches that moat of starlight and vanishes into it. The light kind of flickers and then it vanishes, collapsing into a point. There's a blast of superheated air as this collapses, and the cavitation bubbles kind of form a ring, a perfect ring right around this place that the viewers will recognize as one of the elemental gates. And there is a flash of light, and Vib, you are in a cold sweat in your bed. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight, folks, because it's 10 p.m. We're ending on a cliffhanger. We're going to finish up with this. I'm sure everything will go just fine here. We'll see what happens next time, so be sure to join us Wednesday for our mid-season cliffhanger ending.
We could just do it tomorrow, right? Like we could just real quick.
I mean,
just scooch it.
I'm down. No one else.
We have other things to do.
No one else
Oh my God.
is supposed to be. Oh wait, actually, here to talk to you about what's going on are the cool cast and crew. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's talk to these fine folks who've just given you all this great time. Simon.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Simon. You can find me on the internet at Lucha Libris on Twitter. colorspraygames.itch.io, where I make tabletop role-playing games. I've still got a sale going on for Halloween, a trick-or-treat sale, 50% off 2 games, one for solo play, one for party play. You can play it right out of the box, right as soon as you read the PDF. Go check it out. I'd love for you to try my games. I'm a professional GM from Magpie Games. If you go to magpiegames.com/curated-play, you can find out how you can get linked up with me or one of many other fantastic game masters facilitating Root, the role-playing game, Bluebeard's Bride, Masks, and more. Still got some tickets left for Friday, so go check that out if you are interested. I am a voice actor for the Penumbra Podcast, which is a queer sci-fi and fantasy audio drama. If you want to see yourself represented in stories, that is at the Penumbra Pod on Twitter, thepenumbrapodcast.com. And aside from that, come back on Sundays from 3 to 6 Eastern for Royal Flush, a Wild Cards adventure, which is our ongoing City of Mist actual play right here on All Nerds Here with another fantastic crew. Totally different folks, but just as good entertainment, I think.
Awesome. Then we have got Alex.
Hi there, I'm Alex. I am on Twitter at a Fractal Dragon, and I design games at fractaldragon.itch.io. I have also just recently started streaming some video games. You can check me out at twitch.tv/fractaldragon. I've been playing some Hades, probably going to start playing some Monster Hunter and Fantasy Strike and stuff as well. In addition to this show, I am on Chimera, Cape and Blade on Fridays on Utopia, which is a really fun superhero fantasy mashup that has just recently kicked off as well, so that's also pretty easy to catch up on. Check it out. We have a lot of extremely good, disastrous characters on there.
Excellent. Then we have got Rue.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rue. Been the Ashes of Prithvi and Vib. And you can follow me on Twitter at CherryDrop. And this week I will be on Jess Go JG's channel to play an Among Us edition of Vidithia's game Back to the Woods We Go for a spooky time tomorrow. I believe it will be 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So check that out tomorrow, and a few other folks here will also be on it.
Then we've got Vidithia.
Hi, everybody. I am a prolific game designer and indie punk bastard, Vidithia Valetti. You can find me online at Vidithia Valetti on Twitter, and you can buy my games at vidithiavaletti.itch.io, where I recently released a few. I released a few games earlier this month, which are two incredibly good world-building games that allow you to make settings much like ours that are post-fantasy, steeped in post-colonialism and wonderful things like that. I also released an amazing game called Bigfoot Hunting. You should go and play that game now. It is a very quick browser game. I'm very proud of it, and I would love it if you could check it out. You can also support me on patreon.com/vidithiavaletti, where I release like work in progresses and stuff like that for my work. And most importantly, right now, you can find me on twitch.tv/vidithiavaletti, where the rest of this week, for the next 2 days, actually, me and my friend Nevin have been running a Vidithia's Nevoween Screamtacular. We've been playing spooky games every night this week since Sunday till Friday. And we're playing these games, and we have a lot of cool incentives in the stream because you can donate to the Trans Student Educational Resources Organization. So we've raised, I think the last time I checked, like $700 is where we are at the moment. So that's super cool. If you can make it, come by. And I think we might, we better be rating me. That'd be weird.
Oh yeah, no, we're definitely rating you after this.
Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, that's about it. That's all me.
Sweet. Then we've got Kevin.
Hey, I'm Kevin. Links in chat. Don't click on them. Save your time. Tomorrow I am running Vidithia's game Back to the Woods We Go, reskinned as Among Us to be Back to the Cafeteria We Go, and Rue is going to be on it, and then you can see me disparaging JR, who's clearly going to call out sick and run this again, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna call out to run this tomorrow. So you GM.
No, my loyalty is being tested.
But yeah, we are going to be playing that over on Jess's channel. That's twitch.tv/go_JG. Jess is with the Rainbow Arcade, who are all raising funds for Trans Lifeline as a charity right now in their streams for some spooky, good fun. So if you'll go ahead and join us, then before our stream, another friend of Jess is going to be running Dread on the channel as well. And then on Friday, Alex is going to be running a game
Yeah, I
on
forgot
that
to
channel.
say that. I'm going to be running. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. The surreal horror game by Marn S. That is absolutely brilliant.
Excellent. Last but not least is me. I'm JR. You can find me on Twitter or writing RPG articles for the Bell of Lost Souls. You can also, as mentioned, find me playing and definitely not murdering anyone in Among Us themed Back to the Cafeteria We Go. For details, Kevin just told you them, so pretend I said them as well. I don't want to keep us here too long. But it is the spooky season, so you can also, if you're interested, Saturday night, Halloween night, because who wants to go anywhere or do anything? After you've watched Hocus Pocus, but before you watch Beetlejuice, you can come find me. I'm going to be part of a virtual haunted house along with several other improvisers from, I think, around the country, if not around the world, all put on by a collaboration between the Hideout Theater and American Berserk Theater. There's a cadre of improvisers who have performed internationally and have been doing this for years. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a virtual haunted house experience. I'll be being a spooky creep in and among it. It's PG-13, so like it's not that scary. Like I said, it's the perfect transition from Hocus Pocus to Beetlejuice. I'm gonna drop a link to that in the chat. You can get yourself tickets. They are kind of going quick, so if this sounds at all interesting, check them out. Get a bunch of friends, buy some tickets in a group together. I think they're going to open up more tickets not long after this, so if it's sold out, just check back again. There are multiple shows. Each one I think is like half an hour or a little longer. Maybe it's an hour. I don't remember. I should know this, but I don't. But you can find the details following that link I gave you. And beyond that, I'm here every Wednesday, so please come back, support us, shout us out. We've gotten some great fan art. You can use the hashtag AllNerdsHere. I search it. I found a couple of people using that hashtag that aren't us, which is super exciting. Every week I run a poll that kind of helps shape the game a little bit to let you all have some input onto this world that we make. We try and curate it a little bit. You all are responsible for the crab mech. I don't know that we ever got to 50 retweets, but we're very close. So if you get your friends, we're at like what, 37? So if you get your friends, to come back and retweet this, like I don't know, I got a theme. I wrote it when we crossed 30. I wrote it and was like, all right, I can do it. So I would very much love to, but that's only going to happen with y'all. One last thing, go vote, please. If you haven't, boy, it's dire out there. Election is happening Tuesday, so who knows what Wednesday's gonna be like. So wouldn't you love to just come spend a Wednesday to get away from all of it with us for a little while? I'd much rather come back to this cliffhanger than deal with the cliffhanger that's in reality right now. So vote so that that cliffhanger ends well. For the love of God, do it. All right, that's everything. We're gonna go raid Viditia. Yeah. You better get over there. I think you're playing Resident Evil 7. I'm clicking over to the. Oh wait, no, I want to get the points for rating. You're playing Resident Evil 7 right now, which explains a lot. No wonder you've been doing what you were doing during the channel. So stick around for that raid, and we'll see you all next time.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll be raiding in just a sec.
Where were the Draculas?
How do you think that Imperial Captain came back to life?
Oh, good,
Like, I
nice,
thought
yeah.
so.
Dracula
you-
the whole
That's what I
time.
thought.
Hate-
Yeah, and those slain Imperial soldiers.
Oh, they're all
Look.
Draculas.
I know this is all like
Dracula's
I'm leading
always
into
Still
bad.
Draculas.
Simon's plot to make this all Ixalan anyway. So colonizing Draculas, yeah, let's do it.
No.
I'm okay with this just becoming Ixalan.